look into and ask that question, you're accurate, and government pensions are exempt but not private. And I'm not sure how that evolved and how it was initiated initially, but I think it is the point of fairness is a legitimate point that you've raised.
You know,
well, I mean,
yeah.
You're concerned about people leaving New York. Well,
that would
you only have to go as far as Pennsylvania to save a lot of money if you have a decent retirement. And to me, it's a matter of fairness.
Yep.
You raise a very good point, but I'm concerned about a lot of things that are causing people to leave the state. Unfortunately,
well,
this is
I'm
just
just throwing that out as
right. You got another point that you're making that's valid.
Bob just got his retirement check yesterday, his pension yesterday. It's on his mind today. That's what's and I don't. I understand that. That would be That would be to champion a champion of the people. That would be great legislation to propose and watch people react to it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at and see why and how that was done initially, and then consider that.
And Bob, if I'm correct, you're not asking for Joe to give up his tax exempt status. You're asking for him to apply it to you too. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. I'm with you. All right, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
You know what it is, Joe, there's just, in Albany, there's just so much creep, further and further and further. Well, yeah, the throughway money, that's going to be used for education, but we need money over here, so we creep in and we take more of it over here, and it just seems to be, I mean, you've been there long enough to see it happening and try to stop it from happening, but it just seems to be never ending.
There's a lot of inconsistency here, and it's wrong. You don't see that, and then you can't explain sometime why things were done one way and not another. But I think the point that Bob made, fairness is something we should strive for. But more importantly, in my opinion, also, we should be looking at affordability. Can people continue to afford to live here in New York and enjoy their quality of life? As well as businesses. Can they afford to continue to do business and hire and employ people here? Safety. And how are we going to continue to ensure that we keep people safe? These are things that are important right now. Affordability, safety, economic opportunity, that there is opportunities for young people to pursue. And then there are a variety of other things, obviously a number of things. You look at healthcare, education, all these become very important. But I think we're missing it in so many ways right now, and we're spending astronomical amounts of money, $229 billion. I talked to you before about the fact that just in the last 4 years since there has been one-party control, I think we've seen over almost $60 billion in new spending, and it's just unsustainable. Now, there are things that we've done that I do believe were the investments, like in primary education. We've talked to Rick Timms, your father-in-law and everything, who has some great points that he raised, and we're trying to move in that direction because, again, just fulfilling a promise made should be a promise kept, right? Like we in Foundation Aid never funded it, even though it was there, said here's what we believe you should do and how we should do it, but yet we wouldn't fund it appropriately. So those are things where you lose confidence. People lose confidence in government because you promise something, but then you don't deliver it. So you need to. There's so much that needs to be done to be overhauled here.
Joe, we appreciate the time. Thank you. We'll do it again. And
my pleasure.
You'll be 2 weeks to get a lot done. 2 weeks, much to be done.
3 weeks. And,
3 weeks,
there's a lot going to be happening. Sometime, though, we don't want them to do some of the things that they want to do because it's going to cause more problems for people, right?
Three weeks,
less is better.
3 weeks, much to prevent. 3 weeks.
Much to prevent. Yeah, I like that approach better.
All right, Joe, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Have a great day. Senator Joe Griffel.
Spring is on the way, and if you're looking to make the most of it in a new RV, camper, boat, or trailer, then look to Mohawk Valley FCU. Right now, you can get up to 120-month financing for as low as 5.74% APR for any new recreation vehicle. That's 120 months of financing for as low as 5.74% APR. Go to MohawkValleyFCU.org for more info and to apply today. Mohawk Valley FCU, member-focused, member-driven.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at hnhmedicalny.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, let's get into a little bit of the. By the way, in the calls to Senator Griffo, a lot of people, including Wayne, wants people to be ticketed. Wayne wants people ticketed
for
speeding, right? I mean, Wayne, you can call in Wayne on this. He wants it done. He wants tickets to be issued.
Wait, speeding in a construction zone?
No, just on the thruway in general. That was Marty's comment. That Marty is like, well, I don't know what Marty's comment was. Marty, Well, yeah, I do. Marty's like, people can travel from New York City to Albany and get there in an hour, and they're not being ticketed. Well, yeah, they are being ticketed. But, you know, a police officer, a trooper, cannot be everywhere at every second.
Okay, Wayne, what?
Yeah, he wants people ticketed.
This is not he wants them ticketed via camera?
Well,
Was
anyway,
that part of this?
No, he wants police to ticket. He wants his tickets issued because it's dangerous. Now, Wayne, I get it. I do get it. I get it because you sound like my wife. My wife is, and I'm like, listen, we're fine. She's, no, you're going to kill us. You're going to kill us. This is going to, what are you doing? Now, I will tell you, she was right when I was driving along, and all of a sudden, a giant bundle of scrap metal fell off a tractor trailer, and I couldn't avoid it.
So you hit it?
I hit it. What are you going to do? I don't know. It was 8 months ago, 7-8 months ago on the thruway.
Obviously, it wasn't that bad.
It was bad.
You got an accident?
Luckily, I'm an amazing driver, and I was able to maneuver around and only caught the right side of the vehicle. But it was bad. It was very bad, and there's no way to avoid it. It fell off a truck, and it was bad. It was had we hit it head on, it would have engaged the airbags. But as you know, now here's the problem though. Even though my amazing abilities, my incredible reaction time. My doctor has said it. He'll like take the little hammer, hit the knee. He's like, "Wow, you must be a great driver." He says it to me often. Anyway, even though I was incredible at getting out of the way and only causing minor damage at the end of the day, my wife said, if you were doing a slower speed, you would have avoided it altogether.
Well,
I said if I was doing a slower speed, they'd have picked it up by the time I got there.
That's a great side hustle for a wife, right? As a passenger in a car.
Oh.
She writes you a speeding ticket, right? You can plead guilty right there. You cut her a check for the money, and she goes shopping.
Yeah.
Now, the counter argument is you immediately slow down and you don't do 1 mile over the speed limit, and you say, honey, I'm just going to do the speed limit, and you're stuck in the car with me for an extra 25 minutes now.
That's what I should start saying. You know, you're going to be in this car with me longer if we go slower. But the reality is on the thruway, Marty's right and Wayne's right. When you're driving along, all of a sudden, everything flies right by you. It's just unbelievable. These vehicles are really, really going quickly. I want to. Devin? Can you go in and arrange to bring Chuck in, because I know he only has a few minutes, and I don't want him to be waiting any longer than he has to in the other room. We have an early morning guest we're going to get to coming in a second. School board votes yesterday. Budget votes. I believe everybody passed. Everybody's budgets, I believe, passed. Am I correct in that?
Yes, I'm not aware of which, if any, did not pass.
Come on in, Chuck. Everybody passed, and there is hope in the world today. How long do you have, Chuck? I know you only have just a little bit of time. Till quarter off. All right, we're going to speed. We're going to speed question and all that.
All right.
So.
Well, your wife's ready with a ticket.
You only have there's hope in the world. And the Utica School Board budget, Hobika and Cooper won, both totaling over 2,000 votes. But you know who came in third place? The horrible writer Sue Arcuri came in third place. Chuck, you've run for office. Chuck Gibbs, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
You've run for office. It ain't easy when you've got somebody attacking you.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
You say horrible writer. I think she's a fiction award winner, isn't she?
I guess maybe. I guess she might be. Chuck is the town. So you are still the town supervisor. You're not.
See, you're not keeping up with your current events.
I am not. Give me your whole lowdown, because we were out and had a conversation. I said to my wife, "Do you remember all of what we talked about with Chuck?" And she said, "You're getting old. You're getting very old."
I got 5 grandkids now.
You do have.
Yes,
Good for you.
Yep.
Chuck, so I want to go back just a little bit. Chuck Gibbs, who's the former town supervisor in Whitestown.
Correct.
Chuck was our ice cream man in the on the old show years ago, and every week you came in with new flavors of Perry's. Oh Lord, this is a throwback to the old days.
Yep.
I love it.
Little death by chocolate.
Death by chocolate. Oh my Lord.
He also brought a death
Look
by
at
carbs
this.
for you, too.
I love it. Go ahead.
More? Okay. Well,
what
for
is
your
this?
staff, little strawberry sundae bars.
Those are the best.
Wow, you
Those
don't
are
know
the
me,
best.
but you know me, man.
No.
That's
Love
great.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
And the final. All right. I'm not sure. My memory's a little fading.
Yes.
As you get older.
you get older.
But what was your absolute favorite that I brought? And I'm hoping I get it right.
I thought, and I see there were so many. I'm a big Perry's ice cream fan.
You're going down the right road. I think.
I was going to say the birthday cake was huge at the time, but it was never my favorite.
Okay, no, we're actually thinking outside the box, because I sold more than just Perry's. Remember?
Oh, you did. Oh, not the Biggie Iggy. You didn't sell that.
No, I think that was Burned Dairy or something.
Yeah, I think it's in Stewart's.
Sandwich or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's made out of Vermont or something. All right, what have you done?
What was your ultimate favorite ice cream go-to?
My ultimate go-to is one of two, but my favorite that you can't find is chocolate chip.
Okay.
Maple walnut is my second favorite.
Okay, well.
Oh, no.
I think I still may be right, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure you are.
But I remember I sold.
Oh, the Haagen-Dazs chocolate. That is it's the best ice cream out there.
Yeah.
You remember the days when you'd go to the movie theater and they'd sell the Haagen-Dazs bars?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
They don't do that
that
anymore.
No, there's a lot of places. I even looked in Walmart and stuff. They used to have like all the Nestle stuff.
Yeah.
We sold the Nestle's ice cream, which was the only ice cream sold at Disney. And it was just down there a couple of weeks today.
Those Mickey Mouse bars are really good.
Yep, and those are made by Nestle.
They are made by Nestle.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so where are you doing? Where are you? Bring us up
I'm
to
here,
speed.
Bill.
I know you're here, and you're retired, but you're still with Perry's, though, right?
No.
You aren't.
No.
Okay, but you're still a fan of Perry's.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely a fan of
You
Perry's.
are.
I mean, it was a great company to work for.
Yeah.
New York company out in Akron, New York, just right next to Darien Lake.
Yeah.
Is where the manufacturing plant was.
Do you know I still have in my outdoor room?
Don't tell me you still have the ice cream that I used to bring.
I do. No, I don't.
Because it does expire after about a year.
I still have the giant wooden ice cream cone.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, I love that. It looks so cool, right? I mean,
that is cool.
It fits perfectly. So what is retired from the town, retired from Perry's? You're just a grandfather right now, enjoying golf and life.
Oh yeah. I try to play golf. I'm a member up at Crestwood and run the First Responders Golf League on Thursday nights up there.
Okay.
We got 44, fire, police, DPW, family, friends of. So
Very
we have a
cool.
great time.
And you were just recently in Disney. So what was Disney
Well,
like? Were they
actually-
all fighting and arguing over
No,
territory?
I was very nervous about going down because
Yeah.
you saw stuff on the news about garbage cans overflowing and
Right.
a lot of wokeness and things like that.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
not see any of it.
It's just the most wonderful place in the world. And if you're a fan of customer service, you there's no place better on the planet, right?
Yeah, we were supposed to go actually last August. Well, I have a granddaughter who's 3 years old and son that lives in Jacksonville, and they have the Florida passes, so they're there like once a month.
Okay.
So it was great to actually have like little tour guides.
Yeah,
we just went from one place to the other, and we were just going boom, boom,
They're
boom.
taking you.
Oh yeah, because as they say, they go once a month. They've got all the apps, they've got the discounts, and it was fantastic. So
my kids went with my parents a few years ago, and they said the same thing. We just followed them, and they knew exactly where to go, and they do. And the apps are really cool. The other part is they used to have like the speed pass, but now you can still, so the apps help you. You don't have to wait as long in line, although people still do.
Yeah, we had the wristbands. I think we were there maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. We had these wristbands, and they still work. After 4 or 5 years, they got reactivated and stuff like that. And even my granddaughter, she puts her little wrist up there, and she knows what to do.
She knows exactly what to do. Hey, Devin, could you do me a favor and put these in the freezer before we melt? Because that would be very bad. Wayne on the radio. Hi, Wayne. Good morning.
Hi, guys. Not one bit for anybody getting ticketed. The only thing I'm against, Bill, is when you're coming up to the bottleneck in a work zone area where everybody and their mother tries to speed either on the outside or the inside and get to that bottleneck at about 60 or 70 miles an hour. The other thing was turning around, and once you're going along, what I was talking about was how do they, if you're going along and the guy in front of you is going, say the speed limit is 45 and the guy in front of you is going 47 and you're right along, but you're just going 45 and they click with that camera, how are you to know which car, because of it being one camera, how do they single out the car? I'm definitely not for anybody getting a damn ticket.
Well, do you know any of the answers to this stuff, by the way?
No, but I was actually at I have my security cameras at my house from Taz in Yorkville, and he actually showed me some real neat stuff that he had in his office. Actually, in the village of Whitesboro in Yorkville, they have cameras set up with license plate readers, and those things can fire off stuff. They can actually look at stuff that happened weeks ago. They can punch in a license plate number, and it will pull up.
Yeah, it'll pull
and if that car had gone by there within the past month, they know.
Maybe it'll pull up multiple times if you've been through there multiple times. Wow. They can read so well. You might want to be careful what you're doing in your car when you're driving through these because people are looking.
Well, there's video.
Bill, you know what it made me
show the actual video of the vehicle going down the road. So if you're on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, Yorkville, beware.
You're on camera.
You're on camera.
Wayne, you're on camera, man.
You know what it made me do? Yesterday when I went to Washington Mills, they had the truck there doing that whole thing with the, with the camera. When I went through there, by the time I got to Hannaford, when I was done shopping, I took Oneida Street back because I'm not taking my chances.
You're right, yeah. As for the bottleneck thing, I do get annoyed when you're coming up and you see the lane is coming down to one lane, and you have that piece of garbage that decides he's going to go whipping by everybody, even though he knows it's merging into one lane, and he skips like 30 cars. I try to inch over to the left to prevent him from getting by. But they go right. Believe me, I try everything. But sooner or later they just go on the right on the side of the road and go right by you.
What you'll want to do is try and flip him and the family. No.
Thank you, Wayne. All right, say goodbye,
Later,
Wayne.
guys.
Thank you, man. It's a battle out there on the roads.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So how did you go? Because I don't ever remember you being town supervisor back when you used to come on the show years ago.
Well, I was actually councilman. I was actually with the town of Whitestown for 24 years.
You were?
16 years as councilman and then 8 as supervisor.
Have you met? I didn't even introduce you to Jeff. This is Jeff.
You look familiar, but I don't know where we've met, where we've crossed paths.
He's the ice cream man.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's right. David Lee Roth.
Oh, those days. So each week he would come in and he'd bring new flavors. And then we would scurry down to the hallway to be able to divvy it up and take stuff home.
Yeah,
we always had a great supply of ice cream.
Didn't you tell me you had an awful lot at your house, though, Bill?
There was a time, I still to this day remember, Chuck, we had this terrible situation where I had so much, it got to the point where we couldn't keep up. This, Chuck, I'm telling you, this is still in my mind, and I thought of it. I was going to bring it up the other night when I saw you, but I'm like, well, why bring up bad times? So what had happened is my freezer had gone, we lost power, and the freezer had gone. So it was when I was doing the TV show, and I had to throw out everything in the freezer. And there was a ton of ice cream we threw out. And I got a message from Chuck saying, I see you really value the ice cream I brought in, or something like that, you said. And I think you were joking, but it stuck with me like, oh, my God, I feel so bad.
Well, I had the same situation happen back when I was working for Huff Ice Cream. I used to have one of those Nestle freezers in my garage. Because when like a driver couldn't get to a stop and make a stop, they would actually stop at my house, put the order in my freezer in my garage, and then I would have to deliver it the next day or when I went out.
You'd have to be able to keep it cold.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, my electricity for my garage was on a switch inside the house. And one day, somebody turned the light switch off, and I had a whole bunch of ice cream in my garage.
And it all melted.
And it all melted. But the kids in the neighborhood loved it because they used to come over, and the drivers would come over to my house, and anything that was damaged or something, boxes were damaged,
it ends up
they'd
in the
give
freezer.
it to me, it would end there, and then I was the most popular guy in the street.
Oh,
so.
yeah. There's something about ice cream. I love it so much. And you're right. Haagen-Dazs might be the best. Would you say, do you have a favorite? I mean, Perry's is really good.
Yeah, I'm not too particular. I mean, I'm still partial to Perry's even after all these years. I mean, they were a good company for me, and I just, as a New York State,
Yeah, I would call it a regional.
Stuff,
it's a regional company. So,
right.
So.
I have to agree with Chuck about when he says I'm not too particular. You could probably name me 100 different flavors of ice cream, and they still haven't made one yet that I won't eat.
Yeah, I completely agree. And my wife has this thing that she does with vanilla ice cream, a good premium vanilla ice cream, olive oil, and sprinkles salt on it. It is
really
so good.
Wow. Never heard of that.
Try that tonight. Yeah. It wouldn't be Perry's. It'd be some Italian name, I think. But it's still really, 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 really good. Chuck Gibbs, thank you.
Thank you.
You're a good man. What a great throwback to bring us ice cream today. Love it. Good to see you. We'll break and come back here. Stand by. Talk more about the. By the way, next hour, Hobika is in studio, victorious last night in the school board election. All the budgets have passed. We'll talk about that. And Bob Cardillo is on, running for mayor of Utica. Bob is in studio in the 7 o'clock hour as well. 640 at WIBX.
In the June primary, Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo was running to keep steady strategic leadership working for Rome. Like 6 years and counting with no tax increase, $70 million in grant funding, $325 million in public and private sector investment, plus dozens of economic development victories, all while maintaining an A-plus financial rating. Beginning with early voting on June 17th, vote for the only endorsed Republican candidate. Vote Mayor Jackie Izzo for Rome. Leadership that's working. Paid for by friends of Jackie Izzo.
Those April showers could bring May hot tubs. It's about time you treat yourself to a luxurious new spa from Strong Spas. Visit their huge showroom and choose from over 100 spas in stock and priced to move fast. This summer, get ready to relax. You deserve a brand new spa from Strong Spas. Visit their ginormous showroom inside Sangertown Square, New Hartford. Special financing available for credit qualified buyers. Strong Spas. Experience the difference for yourself. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Progressive Insurance protects people's cars, homes, and other vehicles. But if you've ever seen our commercials or even just heard our name, you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that we support Humble Design, a nonprofit that furnishes homes for families and veterans emerging from homelessness. Because a little help goes a long way. And a lot of help, well, you get the idea. Now, if you already knew all of this about Progressive Insurance, we're impressed. We'll have to find something else cool to tell you next time. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
I can't can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, 6:44. The results of school board elections, and I'm sorry, it's so difficult to. It's so difficult to keep track of everybody that's running, right? Every district has, and we really hyper-focused on the Utica School District, because it was pretty heated. It's funny, my mother, who lives in the Valley, said to me yesterday, we've been so fixated on this crazy Utica election, we forgot who was running in our district. And I think that does happen, right? It's kind of been a throwback to the old days when it was like, I don't know, the Common Council, which is no longer as exciting as it used to be, but the school board was like crazy. And I realize it's not, but this election certainly has been. By the way, the voting, Hobika with 2,041 votes, Cooper 1,908, Arcuri 454. It shows you there are 453 people out there who are willing to blow everything up and put someone so horrible and mean and that writes such unbelievable lies about people, that shouts out things that are this day and age considered racist. She got 454 votes. So there are 453 people out there ready to tip the table over. And by the way, I'd asked the Constitutional Caucus, because they were behind at least Martosha and Arcuri. I'd ask them, is there ever going to be a victory in your future? Because you got Jim Zecca, you got whacked. I mean, you didn't lose last night. You got destroyed. And even Mr. Rozier, suffering. Another loss.
He ran again?
They're all in on it. They're all in on it. They're trying to take over government here. They're going after Paceni. They're going after Izzo. They went after Sheriff Mashel. He won by almost 100% of the vote, for God's sakes. Is there an end? I mean, can't you just get along to get along? Instead, you got to try to tip the table over. And the sad part is, I like Jim Zecca. I've always liked Jim Zecca. He does not like me. But, this refusal to come on, if you don't treat people right, they're not going to come on. That's why we won't come on. No, you're not coming on because you think you're hurting us by not coming on. Guess who's getting hurt? Guess who could only compile 454 votes? And guess whose top candidate was putting sex videos on her blog of Photoshop sex videos of me and Hobika, for God's sakes. If you think I lose sleep over that stuff, you got another thing coming. I mean, really, can you disagree with me, Jeff?
No, I can't.
You can't. It's awful. This is a school board election, and they went after Hobika like he was some deviant. Meanwhile, a lot of this stuff was backed by, it was all intertwined, because you had Bruce Karam involved, because he would like to have these two board members put back on, because then maybe they could vote to have him back in. I don't know. And because Sue Arcuri has been one of the biggest defenders of Bruce Karam. You read her blog, it's all over it. In fact, oftentimes you'll find she has inside information that how would she ever find this out on her blog? Where would she get this information from?
Oh, is it true?
It's in specifically what I'm talking about, things that actually would only be known if you were on the inside. How did she get that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, someone had to give it to her. I mean, I don't know particulars because I don't know the situation, but I'm told that she would have information that she could only get from someone on the inside. So someone's feeding her information. I mean, I don't know what we're thinking here. If it would be, life would be a lot better if Jim Zecca would say, you know what, I want to be a part of moving the area forward. I want to work with the people who are currently in charge. And then maybe as time goes on, maybe I'll someday be in charge. But instead it's, tip the table over, blow everything up, and I'm going to take control. And they're all a part of it. Oh, Hobika's here.
Do you know who, well, we can ask Joe, who was the board member who is gone now? Who got
I believe, is it Don Dawes that is leaving in Utica? Is that? Here comes Hobika. He never would have shown up if he lost. He would.
I would have been here for sure if I lost.
He'd have been hosting the show today.
I talked to him yesterday afternoon, and he said just that. If I lose, there'll be no reason for you to come in tomorrow. I'm taking over the show.
Dave Testa. Actually.
Oh, Dave Testa, right. Yeah. Don Dawes remains on.
He does.
Yeah.
He actually showed up at the vote count last night.
Okay, nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I see this as when you look, and so we would say, how do you tie, the Rozier situation? How do you tie the Constitutional Caucus? How do you tie all of this together? How would you tie it with Pacenti and Sheriff Mashel and Mayor Izzo in Rome and the school board in Utica? How would you tie it all together? It's really quite simple, Joe. Look at the petitions. Look at who's carrying and signing the petitions. It's pretty darn simple.
Well, I would just say that, number one, this was at least my support came from such a wide array of people. I never would have been able to do it without all of that support. And I'm glad that, it was demonstrated by the vote yesterday. So I think what it really means is that the ideology of the constitutional caucus,
that's what you're
and
calling
all of their and all of their leadership. If you see a candidate backed by that group, that candidate is going to be beholden to some absolutely ridiculous ideology, and all I can say is, in Utica, for sure, they've been completely rejected, and they need to go figure out where they need to go infect.
Well, Brookfield has a big vote coming up.
Well, all I can tell you is Zecca, Piacentino, and that entire group, they are completely out of touch. And I think that their effort to try to sabotage the Utica school system with their just oddball craziness and antagonism and character assassination of not only me, but all of the people that are trying to move Utica forward.
Yeah. It was. Can we just talk?
By the way, they woke up the community.
Yeah.
So when they want to talk about wokeness,
maybe it is.
They are absolutely responsible for people waking up and saying, this ideology, and I call it faux conservatism because it's not conservatism.
I know, yeah.
It's hate. It's dog whistling. It's rejected, and they need to take their ball and run away. And I will tell you right now, they're coming after Picenti. For what reason? Okay, he and I served under Plumlee, and I served under Yennis, and I served under Ray Meyer, and I served on, I have never even, I've not worked for the county, but I will tell you right now, he's the best county executive that we've ever had, in my experience.
Yep.
So, he was a staffer. He understands how things work. He doesn't take a position, lock in, and not be willing to listen to different information. So this whole situation with Hennessy and the Kukas, it's just a waste of time.
Even
the voters.
They're responsible for the mess up with the signatures on the petitions.
Listen, they signed the Whack Pack petitions, and the views espoused by those candidates in this particular election, were shameful. So they have a right. And by the way, I do believe in tolerance.
Yeah.
And during the entire time that I was chair of the Republican Party, I always tried to include them, and I always did everything I could to make sure that their voices were heard. And that was not enough, because they want absolute surrender. They want you to tie yourself to a post and never leave it, never make an adjustment. And so they need to go bye-bye. Like I said, if you see a candidate that's supported by them, there's a serious defect in that candidate.
So let me ask you this.
And I agree wholeheartly. And it's not just Picenti, but they came after Mayoral, as I said earlier.
Again, they're coming after. They're coming
Jackie
after.
Izzo, they're going. Yeah. They're trying to take over here. And it's the worst takeover in the history of the world, because it's going nowhere.
Who wants to be led by them?
Yeah,
they were supporters of Brandon Williams. Is that right?
They're in Brandon Williams' camp right now, and I think that's by the way, a Utica University professor just announced he is launching his campaign.
Who's that?
I believe he's from the Syracuse area. I'll tell you in a second. I pulled it this morning.
Is he a Republican or a Democrat?
He's a Democrat. I assume he's a Democrat. I shouldn't say that. I believe he's African American. I assumed a Democrat. That's an unfair assumption. I'll get it for you coming up in a second. But here he is. His name is. I got to get into the story. Utica University professor who is from the Syracuse area. He's from Camillus. Clem Harris of Camillus. I don't know if anybody knows him. Professor Harris? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, Manaski.
No. I was just I just wanted to mention that because it's interesting. I think they supported him. Then at some point, maybe he gave the stiff arm.
Nope.
He did for a while, but they're back in now.
No, he again, I'm just saying. He's got to be suspect if they're supporting
You're saying
him.
Brandon Williams has got to be suspect?
He's got to be suspect if they are supporting him and he is embracing their ideology.
Well, I know firsthand he is.
Oh, well, geez.
I've dealt with it. So, and, I guess you don't turn away your supporters, but you just got to be careful.
I'm not saying that you turn away the supporters.
You got to be careful
but...
who you hang with. And people begin to look at you like, well, that must be your ideology. And if it is, I'm running for the hills. I'm sorry. These people are horrible. The things that were written about your forget you, Joe. You're a character.
I'm a big boy, man. I'm a big boy.
You put yourself out there. But I'm telling you, there's no damn place in this forum to go after family members and to go after your children. The way that it was done in this school board race. It is absolutely disgusting. And it's also disgusting that you had to spend so much money just to continue moving on a position that doesn't even pay.
Bill, listen.
Moving the district forward, it's disgusting.
Here's the reality. I am tournament tough. That's the way it is. And and it doesn't matter. I will do whatever has to be done. If you want to bring the fight, I'm bringing the fight too. And you're going to have to kill me in order to stop me fighting. And the reality is that they did all this stuff, and I would spend whatever it took. I would make whatever effort had to be made. But I will tell you, it was the people that were supporting me that made the difference.
I think there's a takeaway here, and I'm gonna and Lance and Lee is gonna love this takeaway.
Wow.
I think the takeaway. One of the people who I think really supported you when I'm looking around and seeing who's supporting who. Celeste Friend was all backing you and Cooper completely.
Listen.
And is there a message that people take away from? Do not underestimate Celeste Friend. Is it possible that takeaway is there?
That's a takeaway that is definitely there. But I want you to know that I enjoyed support from
everywhere,
from all sides.
Stand by. Manasseh has some unbelievable comments. We'll get to that coming up in a second. Next hour, he's running for mayor, and he is on the board. Bob Cardillo is coming in next hour.
I thought Joe was making an announcement or something.
WIBX, Utica, Rome.
An American death on the battlefield. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. But Nick Mamer wasn't fighting for the U.S. The Army veteran went to Ukraine to help them fend off Russia's invasion.
The retired Army Staff Sergeant was in the eastern city of Bakhmut for months, the scene of intense warfare. According to Ukrainian soldiers, Mamer died when the building he was in collapsed under a barrage of Russian artillery fire. A grisly video was posted online by the Wagner group of Russia-aligned mercenaries, claiming to show the body of an American.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S. and our allies have given Ukraine billions of dollars worth of weapons and military aid, and that war may be a topic for discussion when President Biden gathers with other G7 leaders in Japan. He'll leave for that summit this morning, the day after another round of talks with congressional leaders on raising the debt limit before a looming default.
I'm confident we're going to continue to make progress toward avoiding default and fulfilling America's responsibility as the leader on the world stage.
And he says talks will continue even while he's overseas, and the president will cut his trip short, no longer planning to go to Australia and Papua New Guinea. Republicans demand spending cuts be attached to increasing our borrowing. GOP Senator Marco Rubio tells Fox we should also tap into
the unspent COVID money. Clawing that back. That money's still sitting out there. It's time to bring it back. The pandemic is over. By the administration's own admission.
North Carolina is going to ban most abortions after 12 weeks of pregnancy. The Republican-led legislature overrode Governor Roy Cooper's veto. State Rep. Marcia Moret, a fellow Democrat, calls it
extreme government control over a woman's most basic private right.
The law will also impose new regulations on abortion clinics. A Trump-backed Republican won a primary in Kentucky. Daniel Cameron, the state attorney general, will try to unseat Democratic Governor Andy Beshear in November. In Philadelphia, Sherelle Parker may become the first woman to be mayor. She won the Democratic primary in a city where Republicans are far outnumbered. America's listening to Fox News.
To all my friends, you're going to love Legacy Box. They make reclaiming your glory days as simple as 1, 2, 3. It's simple. You go around your house and you find every family photo, all your VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, reel-to-reel tapes, maybe even 8mm tapes, and the Legacy Box team will professionally digitize everything and put it up in the cloud or send you a thumb drive. Now, magnetic tape like VHS camcorder was only made to last 10 to 20 years. It does deteriorate very quickly, and that means you're losing those family memories over time. Now, Legacy Box saves and protects all of your family media, and they make sure that all those photos, all those videos are saved in perpetuity so they can be passed on for generations to come and easily shared. If you do it today, you get 40% off. It's their all-in-one digitizing kit. Take advantage of this exclusive offer right now. Use your Legacy Box whenever you're ready. Just go to legacybox.com/now. That's legacybox.com/now, N-O-W.
Off to a chilly start here this morning. We have cloudy skies, 38 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. Visit them at clintontractor.net. Well, the results are in the Utica City School District School Board race, and one of the winners last night, Joe Hobika, is in studio with us here this morning on the Keeler Show. We'll be continuing our conversation with Hobika coming up in just a few minutes. The other winner last night for a school board seat was Jason Cooper, and the school district's budget was overwhelmingly passed, as was the case for many school districts across central New York and the state of New York. A new poll out on Governor Kathy Hochul, and the numbers are not great. The results show there's a lot of New Yorkers who do not have a favorable opinion of the governor. The Siena College poll had 45% of people polled said they did not view Hochul favorably, compared to 40% who do. Folks were also split on whether she's effective and a strong leader. One bit of good news for the governor is that the strong majority of people surveyed believe that she is hardworking. A 14-year-old boy charged with a misdemeanor after being accused of threatening to shoot up a school. That threat was made on Snapchat toward the Roberts Pre-K through 8 school in the Syracuse area. Investigators say the boy did not make preparations to carry out the shooting, and there's no word yet on what punishment he could face. After being taken into custody, the teen was released on a family court appearance ticket. Jury deliberations scheduled to resume today in the Schoharie limo crash trial. The 12-member panel got the case yesterday, and both the prosecution and defense laid out closing arguments. Prosecutors say the limo's operator, Noman Hussein, did not do his part to make sure the vehicle was maintained before the 2018 tragedy that resulted in 20 deaths. But Hussein's lawyers say the employees of the auto shop that his client bought the vehicle to for repair work are to blame for that crash. Hussein is charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for some more nice weather today. We continue our string of sunshine, but a bit cooler today. Here's your forecast from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center today. Cold, patchy frost early, bright sunshine, breezy cool for May near 55. Tonight, widespread frost as winds ease, upper 20s to near 30. And tomorrow, cold, frosty start, then sunny, warming up fast, pleasant by afternoon near 65. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Right now, 38 degrees. At
Cold.
7:06.
Hey, yesterday was a big letdown. It was supposed to be a nice day yesterday. While there was a little sun, there was more clouds than sun, and also it was windy. I didn't like yesterday at all.
Well,
big
late afternoon
letdown.
it got windy. It was 75, though.
It didn't matter. I didn't like it. Wind all over the place. It didn't feel warm yesterday. Did you feel that way?
I didn't. At some point, it started raining a little bit.
I didn't get any rain, but it looked like it was raining somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, from the land of clouds and snow showers, I'll take that any day.
You're absolutely
Definitely
right.
was raining on Eagle Street yesterday.
Okay. All right, is Devin doing sports? Hello, Devin. You're doing sports. Good morning.
I am.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
All right, the NBA Conference Finals tipped off Tuesday night with Nikola Jokic turned in a historic triple-double performance in a 132-126 win over the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Jokic totaled 34 points, 21 rebounds, and 14 assists as the Nuggets took a 1-0 series lead in Denver. Anthony Davis paced LA with 40 points, 10 boards in the loss. NBA playoff action continues on Wednesday night when Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics host Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals at TD Garden. The San Antonio Spurs are set to pick first in next month's NBA draft. San Antonio won Tuesday's draft lottery in Chicago, clearing the way for the team to select prized French prospect Victor Wembanyama. The Hornets.
When you can't pronounce a name, just go right over it. Like that guy from such and such a place.
That guy from France.
Pretty good, though.
That
it wasn't
good.
that far off.
Yeah, you good. It was good.
The Charlotte Hornets are set to pick second, followed by the Portland Trailblazers, Houston Rockets, and the Detroit Pistons. This year's NBA draft is set for June 22nd in New York. The Yankees have won each of the first 2 games in their 4-game set against the Blue Jays. The Bronx Bombers cruised to a 6-3 victory at Rogers Center. Domingo Germán started the game but lasted just 3 scoreless innings before being ejected for sticky stuff. Ryan Weber earned his first win of the season after pitching 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief.
Just don't even give the Mets a score.
All right.
No, do it. You know, the Mets had a huge problem last night. Well, yeah, they had a huge problem. They went down 7-1 and then came back and lost 8-5. But apparently, the booing was Verlander getting booed. He had an awful outing. The booing was unbelievable. And at one point, their big brand new video screen malfunctioned. It actually, whatever happened, caused the game to be delayed. And then when they finally got it back up, it was frozen on a giant Tampa Bay logo, and they couldn't get it off the screen. So they had to play like that. It was just embarrassing for New York.
Well, the Rays are starting their 3-game series against the Mets with an 8-5 victory in the opener at Citi Field. Justin Verlander suffered the loss after allowing 6 runs on 8 hits over 5 innings pitched. Brett Beatty, Pete Alonso, Eduardo Escobar each hit a home run for the Mets, who are now in 4th in the NL East at 20-23. New York will continue their 3-game set when Kodai Senga gets the start tonight.
They've lost like 16 in their last 20 games or something.
What do you think the reason is, though?
I don't know. They're in a muck, and they're in a really bad funk right now. And the other part is we put all our money on these old pitchers, and it's a gamble. It's either going to work or it's not. You're hoping they got one more biggie in them.
So I don't want to join in on this because I know I'm going to hear about it later. But, you know, we do this show. We have fun. When I see a punchline, you got to ding it, right?
Yeah.
The only team struggling more right now than the New York Mets is actually the Constitutional Caucus.
Yeah. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Anything further there, Devin? I wanted to say that one thing that I appreciate the fact that you said although you did say it should be a long A when you say it, historic. You said a historic.
Isn't it an historic?
It is not an historic.
It
is a. Remember,
Really?
H is a consonant. Look up the rule. And the rule is it's a historic. However, you can watch national news. You can all people get it. It depends. It's like a 50-50 shot if they're going to get it right. But our man Devin got it right here this morning.
You should have saved that for one of my questions on my.
Like a free
well,
money
no.
question.
Here's the thing, Joe.
People debate it.
Again,
That's
this is with Bill, and you've
not,
known this for a long time. We've had this argument on the show for over a decade. Bill will not concede that he might be wrong on this point.
I'm not wrong.
Lester Holt is wrong?
Well,
he's wrong.
He convinced me this morning that I was wrong first time.
You can't go by what people are doing, because if they do it wrong, then you can't use that as an indicator. Look it up. Just read about it. And if you read about
not people. He's like he's the man on the news desk.
Doesn't matter. He's got it wrong. Doesn't matter.
And the one before him, Williams before him.
You don't know if he said it
before
wrong,
him?
but meanwhile,
No,
he was
he
grabbing down women's pants. I mean, come on.
No,
You
he
can't-
wasn't.
Whatever he was doing. But listen, he's no longer there. Look it up. There's a clear rule. A clear rule. Now, what you will find is that over the years, as we've gone on, we have become a little sloppy.
No,
we
you
let things
got it backwards.
We let things go, and so they'll say that it can be used both ways today. But the proper way is, because the H is a consonant, it is a historic. Period. There's not even a debate about it. There is no debate. It is the rule. Now, yes,
It's whether or not that letter and how it's pronounced, what sound it makes. That's the rule.
Okay. No.
Hour.
I
go twice a hour
I'm
or
just
twice
telling you,
an hour.
An hour is. I don't
Okay.
understand that.
I did
haven't
the-
gotten
I
into
did
that
the-
yet.
I
The
did
rule
the
is the
Google.
sound it makes. It's
Okay.
the sound it makes.
The reality is
I just did the Google and Bill's right.
ahistoric. I am absolutely correct. Look it up. You don't
I
have
just
to.
did.
Don't
I
look,
just did look
thank
it up.
You. Thank
I looked
you.
it up at seven different
I've been
sites.
arguing this
You
point
did
for
not.
20
You're
years.
going through text messages. What are you talking
No,
about?
I swear to God, I did look it up.
You look
But
it up
it's
and
the
you tell
sound.
me.
It's based off the sound it makes.
Let's not. I understand.
Yes.
It's a consonant and it's the sound. I get that. The point is, a historic is the rule. Devin?
It's true.
I also looked it up. and it says, since historic begins with a hard H sound, use ahistoric instead of anhistoric.
Thank you. I got a break. I'm just saying. It's like saying to somebody,
Bill won, the
like,
rest of everybody else, 1,000.
It's like saying 2 + 2 is 4 and debating it. Like, I don't know if you're right or not. It could be wrong. I'm here. Lester Holt says it's 3. That's my point. That's all I'm saying.
Jeff, you're not arguing alternative facts, are you?
Are you
because
kidding
if
me?
you are, you would be a member of the Constitutional Caucus.
I got a break. Okay, the bell is ringing. We're coming right back. Stand by at 7:13. You have more, but I want to bring in somebody quickly who is promoting something. Would you mind if I squeeze her in? Because it's a big event.
I'm happy.
And then I'll give you the final say to say whatever you want to say. But I got a break before we get there. Portions of the program brought to you by Adirondack Bank. Adirondack Bank. With 14 locations in the area, with their mobile banking app, Adirondack Bank is just a click, a call, or a short drive away. You'll always be treated like a neighbor. From eco-checking to mobile banking to personal loans, home loans, and yes, the home equity loan where you can make huge improvements to your home or your property. Adirondack Bank can help you with all of your financial needs. Call them today. Begin your ADK experience at AdirondackBank.com. AdirondackBank.com. Adirondack Bank, member FDIC.
From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products and online shops, it's all under one new roof at Max's Print Shop in Marcy. Order anytime and any quantity in person or online at maxsprintshop.com. Since 1978, we pride ourselves on personally meeting every customer's need. We can take your project from design to production. And remember, Max's Print Shop will stitch anything. And we mean anything in the Utica-Rome area. Find us at 9555 River Road in Marcy or online at maxsprintshop.com.
The 2023 Gun and Sportsman Show with Craft and Flea Market on Friday, May 19th and Saturday, May 20th will be at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds in Frankfort. You can find all kinds of hunting and sportsman supplies, ammo, bows, fishing gear, tanned furs, antiques, wildlife, photographs, wood crafts, leather goods, gorgeous gifts, flea market treasures, food trucks, and more at the 2023 Gun and Sportsman Show with Craft and Flea Market. The 2023 Gun and Sportsman Show with Craft and Flea Market on Friday, May 19th and Saturday, May 20th at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds benefits conservation education and is sponsored by the NYS Trappers Association. Vendor booths are available for the event. To reserve yours, contact Bill Swagler at 607-222-8554 or at nystaconvention@gmail.com. Admission is only $10 per person. Kids 10 and under are free. On Saturday, military is free with ID.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties.
We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike.
Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come.
Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work.
Who are we?
We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties.
FoundationHOC.org.
We're your community foundation.
Working to build a vibrant region.
Opportunity for all.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is now accepting new patients. This is Bill Keeler. Dr. Shemileski and Dr. Zielinski are now taking on new patients with sleep issues, fatigue, pain, ADHD, and other health concerns. Are you considering medical marijuana? This might be an option for pain without the addictive side effects of opioids. Or are you looking for a new family doctor? Call today. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, 315-507-4751, or visit them online at falconclinic.com.
Memorial Day savings are here, and that means time to upgrade for summer. Adirondack Home Furniture is overstocked in every department, so come take advantage of their amazing deals on sofas, dining sets, bedrooms, outdoor poly furniture, and more. Right now, take advantage of their lowest prices of the year on select items, or 4 years, 0% interest financing. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Something for every room, any size, inside and out. From modern to farmhouse, rustic to transitional, with free local delivery and a professional, knowledgeable staff, you'll have your dream home in no time. Plus, salespeople are non-commissioned, so you'll enjoy a relaxing, no-pressure experience. Celebrate Memorial Day and save big at Adirondack Home Furniture for living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, home office, and patio at their lowest prices of the year. Adirondack Home Furniture, Riverside Center in North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hobika, I want to. This is Steve Cully in the other room.
Yeah.
You know Steve, right?
I do.
Steve, say hi to Hobika. Just yell out.
Hello, Mr. Hobika.
Yeah, he's shadowing today.
Hey, Steve.
Are you shadowing today? You're shadowing because you want to.
He's a large shadow.
He is. He's going to do his own show in the Albany area. He wants to learn. Well, you're learning from the best.
You're learning from the best, Steve.
Yeah.
How can you go wrong?
Even my wife is rolling her eyes right now after she heard that. Okay.
Can I just put a bow on the an or a historic?
Oh, no, you're not going to keep it
Jeff,
going.
let's not go down that road.
So dictionary.com, the English word historic was influenced by the French historique. I don't know, I don't speak French, which was which has an unpronounced H. Regional English dialects that practice H dropping may still not pronounce the H, and these speakers are more likely to use an historic than historic.
Okay. Well, the British English, the original English language, I get all confused by their plurals, by their. I mean, it's completely different.
I got to tell you, I am sure that the listeners are riveted by this.
Mike says enough of the fight over H over the historic. Let's fight over could or couldn't care less. Because I got to tell you something. I've been corrected before, and my answer to that is I couldn't care less. And somebody's like, excuse me, it's I could care less. Is that what it is? It's I couldn't care less. Which is the phrase? I'm now confused.
I couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less. And so when I say I could care less, someone says, no, it's I couldn't care less. My answer is always, no, trust me, I could care less. That's why I said it that way.
Well, whoever the commenter was, I've forgotten his name already. He gets the bell because he's.
All right.
That was a good line.
And Greeley even piped in on it. I got a bunch of people piping in on it. So it is what it is.
It is.
One of my favorite little phrases. It is what it is. All right. Last night, school board in Utica, by the way, pleasantly to announce that all school district votes, budget votes, passed. I think everywhere. And there's a lot of money out there right now.
Absolutely.
Next year is going to be the scary year. Would you agree with that?
I'm not anticipating that.
You're not. You think it's going to be okay next year,
I think
too?
it's going to be okay.
Okay. All right. Now, on the school board member vote, that's where the controversy came into play in Utica, and it has been a fiasco to watch. It's been one horrific comment after another, an attack by what is seemingly the, quote, constitutional caucus, trying to take over everything from county executive to mayorships to sheriff's races, and even infiltrating the Utica School Board. And they have failed significantly.
I don't know what their purpose was. I really don't.
I don't either.
It made no sense. I mean, number one, I was going from polling site to polling site yesterday, and there wasn't one of them, not one of the other candidates was even visiting. So I thought that was odd. You do all of this stuff, you say all of these things, and then you do nothing at the very finish line. Made no sense. I think it made me feel a little bit better. I was very nervous about the outcome of this race. I really was, and I thought it was a toss-up. I had no idea, but I have to say that the voters clearly demonstrated a mandate, and that is that the constitutional kooks, their positions are not supported by the people.
At the very least, in Utica. Yeah.
In Utica, for sure. So
Andrew asks, how in the world did Sue Arcuri come in third?
Well, let's just say it was the quality of the bottom of the bracket.
Boy, oh boy. And then let's talk about Jason Cooper. We had him in studio on Friday. I thought he was, how would you assess it? I thought he was extremely responsible and caring about the district as a parent.
He's thoughtful, okay, and he's a hardworking guy. And
you included him in your commercials.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Absolutely. And it's evident that we have a mandate. And so we're going to go forward. And I have to say, okay, the victory took place. We won. The budget was passed. And I got up this morning and I thought, my God, we have an awesome responsibility at this point to deliver.
The bar is high.
For the community. And so that's what I was thinking about this morning. I enjoyed the victory last night. That was nice. I was relieved that we won. And I have to say, I got a lot of support from my fellow board members, Tennille, Noop, and Danielle Padula, and James Paul. And there were any number of other community members pitching in to really help us overcome and win. And so now I woke up this morning and I thought, all right, now the real work's is gonna begin, and that is implementing all of the changes that we've been working on and making sure that we remain vigilant in oversight.
Well, the elephant in the room is you still have a superintendent who is on paid leave, and there's an investigation, and there's a lot. People are.
The only thing that I'm going to say about that is, I'm not letting that distraction.
Okay, all right.
Get in the way.
I do have a comment here that is. I think it's going to be interesting with Joe winning, which I feel is a mandate against this old-time Utica patronage mentality. Will be interesting to see if the rats start trying to scurry away. An interesting way of that's Mike, by the way.
I do think that the community has clearly demonstrated that old-time Utica governmental operations, that mode is dead. And they will not stand for it. They want people to be paid a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. They want people to come to work. They want people to be responsive.
Well, because they all come to work. They all show up.
100%.
They all, I think people get very angry at people who cheat the system. People who even, everybody's got a friend who's I know you're a disability attorney, but everybody's got a friend who's.
Don't even go there, man. Don't even go there. Nobody asked.
I didn't ask. I'm just bringing it up.
Please, I'm tired of that.
What are you tired of?
Is that because somebody gets hurt?
I'm not saying
they get injured, whether or not.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if somebody is cheating the system, period, people don't tolerate it, and it happens. It happens.
It's the exception
America.
rather than the
I'm
rule.
sure it is.
Okay, it's the exception.
But so is what you're describing.
I'm not. Listen,
the average person in Utica is not a no-show job person.
100%. We have people. They really care. They work hard, and we just had to sift out, some of the people that were violating the public trust.
So far, I've stepped on Jeff's toes. I've stepped on Hobika's toes.
I don't even know why.
I'm going after Devin now. What can I say to you to piss you off?
I don't know how to deflate the
I simply said I used an example.
Why do we have to argue?
It's an actual example. You shouldn't be arguing right now. You should be celebrating, for God's sake.
Can I just say I want to disagree in one aspect? I completely agree with what you guys said about the no-show jobs. Most Uticans don't stand for that, and they're not for it. But if you have one and you're looking to fill an opening, I'd just like to pass you my resume. It's a blank sheet of paper, and I can work
That's right.
any hours.
Yeah, he can.
The prior administration.
Jeff can work from home easier than anyone. He's good at it.
What I would direct you to do is to turn it into human resources or the superintendent of schools, the acting superintendent.
Is there anything?
Because the board president doesn't make jobs for people.
Is there anything else that you want to add?
I just want to thank everybody again for helping with this victory. I think I hear and I feel the mandate, and the reality here is that we have a lot of work to do to continue the trend, and I don't think that this was about me in any way. It was really about the efforts that are the current administration and the current board, has put forth, and people are starting to feel that excitement and the energy. And we, as I said, we have an awesome responsibility to deliver it, and to continue moving forward. And there's going to be some bumps in the road, and there's going to be some difficult times. But the reality is that, if we can stay the course and continue to be focused, then I think we're going to actually make some tremendous strides and continue the improvement of the district.
I almost thought you were about to say we're going to make Utica schools great again. I almost thought you were going to say that.
Well, maybe what we'll do is we'll get some black and maroon hats with that on there. I heard that's a.
I like it. I do like it. I do have a comment off topic, going back to another topic. This is Julie. Can I bring up the A and N thing again? Do you mind if I bring it back up?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Julie. We've discussed this before. I was taught an historic in grade school. It used to be a soft H in original English. That's what we were taught decades ago, so older people may pronounce it that way. So a little.
Oh, my goodness.
A little.
I thought it was
She's
historic. Because I'm an older person.
Okay.
Jeff.
You are older. There's no doubt about it.
I agree with you.
Oh, please.
It's all about if you pronounce historic, then you should say A.
Okay.
You know what?
Like I do, by the way. I pronounce it that way.
I have to say that Jeff, I think he's a little bit hot under the collar about you getting after him this morning on that issue.
Are you trying to leave here by starting trouble? Is that what you're intending to do?
No, not at all.
Because we'll talk about disability, okay?
By the way, he stepped on my toe, and I think I'm injured. So,
all right. Comment from who's this comment from?
It's actually I just went there to look at some of the comments. It's the blog. It's the Sue Arcuri.
Oh, it's for
it's
blog.
Completely irrelevant, but go ahead.
I knocked on many doors for many hours a day, and I knew exactly how passionate voters were about the woke crowd. The tax increase. Was there a tax increase? No. The tax increase, and it's unfathomable that 2,041 votes were cast for Hobika. Tell me, why would Hobika spend so much money for an election to win a seat for the non-paid position on the Board of Election? This country is gone. If you're a conservative, you have no shot of winning with the corruption and manipulation of elections. He's insulting my intelligence. Hobika was convicted of criminal solicitation. Sounds about right. 2,000 people voted, trusted him, not on your life. The woke shut down the country. The school district was a piece of cake. Would you like to react?
Tip of the spear, baby. That's what I'm saying. I would spend whatever it took to win the election. We made the effort. Everybody rode in the same direction. It's time to stamp out people like Sue and the people that think that belittling people, lying about people, sitting here talking about woke. I don't even know what woke is, but I can just tell you one thing. the community was woke up for this particular election, and I think they believe in tolerance. I think they believe in inclusion, and I think they believe in equity. And those are all buzzwords for, and dog whistles for the initiated. And they are not buzzwords, but for people that want every child, no matter what, to have an opportunity to fulfill their potential. And that's what we're here to do. And that's why our kids come to the school board meetings, at least under my watch, because we want to keep reminding ourselves that it is about the children. It is not about all this other nonsense that people continue to throw up. And sometimes when they throw it up, it makes people want to throw up. So
I just wanted to say it's awakened, not woke. Sorry.
It was a play on words, Bill.
I get it. I was about to interrupt you, but I knew you were on a diatribe,
and
so I didn't want to interrupt, for God's sake.
Diatribe?
I didn't want to, come on.
Look.
Next time you come back, we want to hear what you really think, though. Okay?
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, I came here today to spike the football on behalf of all of the people that didn't get a chance to spike the football.
All right,
so
very nice.
I'm spiking it.
Okay, Joe, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate the opportunity to come in. Thanks. Again, it's not my victory. It's every it's the district's victory. It's the parents and students' victory, and all the people that supported the effort.
Okay.
I was glad to be the tip of the spear. I will continue to move forward. I will do what it takes to move things forward.
Okay.
But one more thing.
Oh.
Good governance matters.
Okay, Joe. Thank you. Joe Hobika and Cooper, the two of them winning on the Utica School Board last night. He's not only spiking the ball, but he's doing a little dance on his way out, I'm noticing. He's dancing on the way out. I got a break. We're going to go from Joe to Bob Cardillo. Bob will be in a few minutes. Stand by. We'll do the free money question first. Bob, of course, is on the school board. We have a few questions there. And what Bob really wants to focus on, and I get it, I understand. He wants to focus on where he's currently. He's in the middle of a mayor's race. And what he stands for. He wants to talk about all of those things. And we will with Bob Cardillo coming up in a second, right?
Yeah.
We'll break, though, because we're way over. And let's do the free money question. You want to get that in? And now that he's left, let's give away his money. Davey, this would be an ideal day. I know he got angry over the disability thing. I get it. This would be an ideal day for an easy question. I'm just saying. He's out the door. He's listening in his car. He's late for an appointment. He can't turn back. Let's give away some money, Davey. Caller number what?
Caller number 8.
Caller number 8. I have a great question. Caller number 8, next on WIBX.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers and sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select BX Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Log on or give us a call today at WhitesFarmSupply.com.
White's Farm Supply.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Those April showers could bring May hot tubs. It's about time you treat yourself to a luxurious new spa from Strong Spas. Visit their huge showroom and choose from over 100 spas in stock and priced to move fast. This summer, get ready to relax. You deserve a brand new spa from Strong Spas. Visit their ginormous showroom inside Sangertown Square, New Hartford. Special financing available for credit qualified buyers. Strong Spas. Experience the difference for yourself. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play stopped, opt out.
Jen, you sure you want to pick up the tab? That meal was kind of pricey.
Happy to. I've got the cash. I just switched my self-service to Red Pocket Mobile and put about $600 a year back in my pocket. And their service is amazing.
$600? That's serious cash. How'd you find Red Pocket?
You know I research everything. I wanted to keep my quality service, but just not pay as much. Red Pocket plans start at just $10 a month, and you're in control. You keep the same phone and same number with amazing nationwide coverage and no long-term commitments.
So you love your cell company and you're saving around $600 a year? What's the catch?
No catch. Millions of people just like me have already made the switch.
How do I get started with Red Pocket?
Just send them a text. But hurry, because right now you can get an additional 50% off.
Text HUGE to 200-300 and you could save $600 or more every year on your cell phone bill. Text HUGE to 200-300 right now to get an exclusive link for an additional 50% off. Text HUGE to 200-300. Text HUGE to 200-300.
Hey, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor, think about the Falcon Clinic. But it goes further than that. I have to say that in our lives, we've been dealing with some health issues in our family, and going to the Falcon Clinic, I just have to say, Dr. Shemaleski, thorough investigation. When you can't get, and I don't want to say examination, not investigation, but I guess it's like an investigation. When you can't get to the bottom of someone's health issues, when you cannot get to the bottom of it, you want a doctor who is going to be thorough and look at everything. And I've heard of more stories like this with Dr. Shemaleski and the Falcon Clinic. One friend of mine said that she was feeling like she was going to have to give up her work, her business, because she was having health issues. And a trip, she went from doctor to doctor, but a trip to the Falcon Clinic changed her life. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zelensky, Dr. Kosminski, all under one roof, everything from acupuncture to the premier osteopathic clinic in all of Central New York. If you're in need of a new family physician, it's the Falcon Clinic. Call 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Are you hitting that, Davey, or is it me? The Falcon Clinic. Well, it's definitely not me. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I just, he took up, half an hour of airtime this morning, Hobika. It would be a great day to be like, you know what, let's just come up with an easy question and give some money away. Eric, you may be the recipient, is in Deerfield. Hello, Eric. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
All right, you ready to go?
Yes, I think so.
All right. You're in line for the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Good at any of the Aquavino, New Hartford, Babe, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, any of the concession stands at Adirondack Bank Center or the Nexus Center, and Cookies Q and Creamery, where they're doing 2-for-2 hot dogs in Utica. Look for that coming up. And are you ready? Plus $100. So let's see if we can give away the money. Here's your question.
Go.
You know you're going to have 7 seconds. Davey, are you operating this?
Yeah, hang on.
Davey, I need you in there, yeah. Or in here. Oh, here comes Davey. Where'd Manaski go? Nature? Okay. You got it in there? Okay, good. Okay. Hi, Davey. You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's your question, Eric, in Deerfield. Name one of the two candidates who won school board seats in Utica last night. Ready? Go.
Joe Hobika.
Bingo. What was the other one? Can you name the other?
Cooper.
Jason Cooper, very nice. No, you actually won. Yes, that's $100 in cash. He's halfway down the road, wants to turn back, yelling. The only thing I could have done any easier was like, what color tie was he wearing today? But I just couldn't remember the color.
Well, let's thank Mr. Hobika for sponsoring this contest. It's a lot of fun.
It's $100 coming your way and the gift card. So stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. All right, Eric?
All right, thanks, Bill.
The power we have here in the studio. If he's, rude to us, if he's a little snotty in the morning to us, we just give away his money. Bob Cardillo, you ought to try this. This is a way to relieve stress.
Would you? Not a bad idea.
Good morning, Bob. Good morning, Bob Cardillo. Good morning.
Good morning. If I'm hacking, it's because I have a miserable cold.
Oh, my God. You have had a cold every time you come in here.
I know that. I think it's this campaigning stuff. It just,
okay. All right. Well, stay over there.
Well, I'm not going to shake anybody's hand.
No handshaking.
And wipe this mic when I get out.
We will do that. All right. Let's talk about, first of all, last night, obviously, board vote. This was ugly. There was a lot of ugliness, especially out of Sewer Curie. Do you want to comment on any of this in the vote yesterday?
No, I would congratulate Joe and Jason. They ran a good campaign. They obviously have a pretty significant vote total. They have a mandate, and again, I congratulate them.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to working with them.
So, in full disclosure, we talked about you coming on, and you said, I don't want you to sit here and hammer me over the school board in so many words.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll let you say it.
It is what it is. Quoting what you said before,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. I really didn't get involved in the race at all, truthfully.
Right.
Because obviously I'm running for mayor, so I'm, I have to be careful where, where you lie here. So, and again, I think that they have a mandate. I'm sure that Joe will be running for president again, and I will vote for him.
Okay.
So, Jason, this is Jason's second time he's run. So, and as we all said, it is all about the kids.
Yeah.
It's all about providing a good quality education in a really good sound environment.
I know I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and to finish our conversation that we had, is I said I cannot not ask you questions about this.
No, I understand.
But what I promise you is that I won't sit here and argue with you about your answers.
No, look.
And
it is what it is.
It is what it is. All right. The one question in the report, this is the report on Bruce Karam that was submitted. The Board of Education adopted or accepted that, however it's worded. Right. Anyway, in there is talk about a board member going into the district, and it was charged by the investigator almost as, I don't know if he specifically said it, but certainly the secretary felt intimidated because the person went in, got into the secretary's office or into the district office and said, Bruce Karam is coming back. And it was felt that was done to intimidate her. She ended up feeling, she said she got a migraine. She missed the next day of work. She felt intimidated. I wanted to clear up the fact that, I'll ask you, were you that school board member?
No.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I don't, when I was vice president, I would go more often to the headquarters.
Yeah.
But when I'm not being vice president, and not having to go to the meetings that we would have on Thursday, the pre-board meetings, whatever, to decide what we're going to discuss, I don't go to the board other than to go to the meetings.
Okay. It was not you.
No.
Manaski.
I just have one on the school board, and that's if you are elected mayor, do you have to give up that seat?
You don't have to give it up.
Will you?
But I will, absolutely.
Oh, you will? Okay.
Absolutely.
And then, really, I don't have a lot on the board and the Karam thing, but I would ask you, a while back we said if when the report comes out, if the stuff does come out, and obviously we played audio, some pretty vile things that were said by Mr. Karam in meetings, how do you then react as somebody who's a friend of his, but also somebody who's running for mayor? How do you react to what has come out. We don't know everything, but we've certainly heard audio.
No. Well, first of all, as you know, how I voted.
You voted to keep him on administrative leave. Yep.
Administrative leave,
Yes.
and accepted the findings of the report. Having said that, and having read the report, I was not pleased with some of the things that I read. Again, as you indicated, I've known him for a long time, and I've known his family for a long time, so it was kind of out of character reading some of this stuff. But again, if these were the things that were said, I'm not happy about it, and I don't know what the remedy is. I mean, he has another avenue here in terms of the federal jurisdiction, which they're using. But again, as I say, I read the report, and I'm not pleased with it. That's not the kind of language that I think
heard the
a
audio.
public official, not even a public official, that anybody should use. However,
well,
we're
and what I would say is you worked in a lot of administrations everywhere from local to
the United States,
and could you imagine in a administrators meeting or in an executive meeting of any sort, wherever you have worked, that type of conversation going on?
Not in the meeting, but I can tell you when the meetings are over.
I understood. And there's President Trump, I think, called it. There was locker room talk.
Oh, bleepity bleep bleep.
There
bleep,
is
bleep.
there's a difference between
yes.
Right.
I agree, and that's why I voted the way I did.
Okay. All right. You have something, or I'll keep going.
School board? No, I got a couple mayoral issue questions, but all right. Well, so let me ask you this. I don't want to dive into the whole complete streets thing. I know some of our listeners feel like we've beaten them over the head with it. But let me ask you this: Is there a lack of leadership in the way this has gone on? With it was put up for a vote. Should it be permanent? Then it was voted down, and then they re-voted on it and changed some language, and then basically they just restriped the road exactly the way it was for complete streets. What do you think of that? Look downtown, and would you have handled it differently as mayor?
The answer to how I would have handled it is yes, I would have handled it differently. I don't know, because remember, I'm not there, so I don't know in terms of input. The first thing I would have done, and again, I'll go back to this, the fact that the hospital now is downtown is going to make a big difference in terms of traffic patterns.
Right.
So I don't know how much input the police chief had. I don't know how much input the fire chief had. In particular, the fire chief, because if you've got a problem,
sure,
you've got to get there. I don't know what this looks like. So, and it's not like it's not far away. I mean, it's around the corner. So, in terms of handling it, I would have certainly gotten those people involved. I don't know if they have been involved or how much they've been involved. My intel tells me that they haven't been that much because it's really been the council that's done this.
Yeah.
So that's how I would answer it. But in terms of how it was done, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not there. So,
if you are, it's my understanding that when they restripe the road with the 5 lanes, that they say the 2 bike lanes, but they're not bike lanes, but whatever, it's 5 lanes.
Well, then they pull the bike lanes out, didn't they?
No,
they took them out of the legislation, but they restriped the road with the bike lanes in it. That's what I mean about the leadership.
That's ambiguous.
They're not bike lanes, right? Is that what they're telling us?
Well, and I think my suggestion was, I didn't realize at the time, but it's actually escaped inmate. So he can unimpeded can go right down the side of the road.
That is funny. Thank you very much.
So
they look like bike lanes.
We did have an escaped inmate, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So
2.
My understanding is when they restriped, what they restriped with was, again, a temporary paint, not a permanent paint.
Right.
So it's possible when the next administration comes in, there isn't a need to spend $1 trillion or however big the estimate is to get the old lines off. I think it's expected they'll fade in the next 3 to 4 months with the sun and everything. So if you're elected mayor, would you be pushing to keep complete streets the way it looks now, or you go back to the 4 lanes, 2 in each direction?
Man, I'm an old traditionalist, I guess.
Yeah.
I personally like the 4 lanes, but having said that, I still believe that you need to discuss this with the people that are going to be most affected, and that's the police department, the fire department, basically because of the hospital and the traffic patterns. So I think we need. It's going to be revisited, that's for sure.
And then, so this is something on a different topic that came up recently. It first came up a few years ago. The downtown Utica casino, that kind of an idea, was proposed by the county executive. And when we spoke to him recently, you asked, was it still on the table or possible? He said it wasn't something they were moving toward or doing at the moment, but he said it was possible in the future. It might come up again. As the mayor of Utica, if you're elected, what was your take on a downtown casino?
Well, I'll answer this in a couple of different ways. First of all, I remember when the county executive, not this year, previous year, it is state of the county.
It was before COVID.
Yes, it is because we were all together. And Hellbrother was there. It was actually at Turning Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the proposal for the casino. Now, I think there's been so much good stuff that's gone on downtown, and so much stuff that's gone on now with the Odd,
Nexus,
the
and
Nexus Center, the Odd, and everything else, that we need to be very careful how we start to mix things. And I'm a big fan of Hellbrother and the casino. You know that.
Yeah.
I want to have them involved. Matter of fact, my whole theory was a long time ago was to have them involved in the harbor, but not for gambling. Remember, they're a deep pocket. So they want people to come to the community, but not necessarily for gambling, because they can get them up to the casino to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like the idea of having gambling in that particular area. Now that, look, my grandson goes to Nexus Center now to play hockey.
Yeah.
With kids down there, you know what kind of personalities go to casinos, and I don't necessarily know that that's the right thing to have at that.
Are you
venue,
insulting people who go to the casino now?
No, absolutely not.
This is going to be the real controversy.
No,
now.
come on. Here's a good one. I go to the casino.
Yeah.
I take my $100 bill, I give it to them, and then I leave.
Okay.
That's about what.
But always ends up that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but I don't
you
think
would not,
it's the right venue.
You're not for a casino downtown.
No.
Okay.
And if you recall, they were talking about a casino on the canal, on the barge. And I was against that because look at what casinos. Look at Atlantic City. They built all these great casinos and all this beautiful stuff, but what you wound up with was a lot of problems. So,
although I will say that when you look at the Turning Stone, it's really the most successful resort in New York and probably the Northeast. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily count Atlantic City, but Atlantic City has struggled. I mean, that play. And the other part of this that I think is quite interesting is that they're going beyond. They're doing other things. You do see kids at the Turning Stone. There are things for kids to do, sports and golf and so many other things. So, and I think they have something big coming up that's going to be announced quite soon. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see what that is. So,
I just think we have to be very careful. With where we put things. Just one more thing. I would suggest that I want the nation involved. Absolutely want them involved in this community because they're closer than Syracuse. I really would love to have the nation. Utica be the nation's city, if you will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I believe in what they do. I always have. I talked about that a long time ago. So I want them involved, but I don't know that I'm a real big fan of gambling at that particular spot. So.
Your opponent, Michael Emy, was on. I will say that, and this will be something that will be probably addressed when the next part of my question comes to fruition, but he was critical of your lack of criticism of Bruce Caron, but I think at this point you've answered that. Secondly, he did ask for a debate. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
You're in agreement with a debate here on the air.
Absolutely.
I'm working that out with your people,
Absolutely.
and we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
What are the big issues? We got about 3 minutes left here. What are the issues that you want to, because your criticism has been we're talking about everything else but the things that you believe will make a difference in the city of Utica.
Well, I've since November, since I announced November of 2022.
Yeah.
I've done nothing but talk about issues. As you know, we've had a news release about every week talking about the things that I think are most important. I think it's crime is an issue. I think it's taxes and our fiscal responsibility is an issue. Homelessness is an issue. How many people in the city of Utica live below the poverty level?
Yeah,
that's an issue. I think we need to continue to maintain what we're doing in the downtown areas, but we need to work in the neighborhoods. You know, when I went over to Hurt Park, and it's pretty sad, there's kids that play in that park, and there's syringes with needles in them.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that we need to focus on and we need to work on.
All right.
Can you talk about
and St. Elizabeth's Hospital also is another big issue.
So yeah, what's going to come of St. E's?
How would you address some of those? Let's homelessness. What is the city not doing right now? Yeah. What? Tell us what you think the city could be doing. I guess maybe that's not being done right now because it is an issue.
It's an absolute issue.
Bigger issue than it's been in a long ever that I remember.
Well, and the other thing too, I don't know what's going to happen with the influx of all the migrants right now. They're coming over the border, and they're starting to send them. I know that the county executive and Herkimer County Board of Legislators has said, "Hey, not here."
Yeah,
okay?
and I don't think we've seen anything as of yet.
Not yet, but
right.
Don't think that it couldn't happen.
Certainly not saying that it couldn't. I have to hold you there because we have a news break coming up. I'll take you on the other side of news to let you talk about this, and then we'll wrap it up. Bob Cardillo in studio, and it is a Wednesday morning. Next hour, I do know Ryan Nobles. We'll get to him from NBC coming up and talk about some of that southern border issue as well. Stand by. We'll come right back to Fox News. Straight ahead right now, WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
There's an agreement in the debt limit talks. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They agreed to keep talking as a possible default looms.
The president has now selected two people from his administration to directly negotiate with us.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says that's progress after another round of negotiations at the White House as Republicans keep demanding spending cuts be attached to increasing borrowing.
McCarthy says the scope of negotiators is shrinking with top budget aides leading the talks and meetings expected daily as the president travels to the G7 summit in Japan.
The nature of the presidency is addressing many of the critical matters all at once.
But that trip to bolster alliances in the Pacific region will be cut short. The president canceling stops in Papua New Guinea and Australia.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. At the G7 summit, President Biden and other leaders are expected to discuss Russia's war in Ukraine, where an American has been killed. Nick Mamer, a retired Army staff sergeant, went there to fight for Ukraine, but died in a battle with Russians in Bakhmut. The president also says things are getting better at the border, with a big drop in illegal migrant crossings after the record surge just before the Title 42 COVID policy expired late last week. But a Republican Congressman, Byron Donalds, just told Fox.
No, it's not getting better. What's actually happening is people are being funneled into the entry points, and they're being processed there. So if you're the drug cartels, what difference does it make?
In the past 2 days, 6 people on the U.S. terror watch list were stopped at the border. It's now 88 this year. North Carolina is putting more restrictions on abortions. A new law will take effect July 1st.
After the state's Republican-controlled General Assembly overrode Democratic Governor Roy Cooper's veto. The state joins more than a dozen other states with bans on abortion throughout pregnancy.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The law also puts restrictions on abortion pills and new regulations on North Carolina abortion clinics. America's listening to Fox News.
To all my friends, you're going to love Legacy Box. They make reclaiming your glory days as simple as 1, 2, 3. It's simple. You go around your house and you find every family photo, all your VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, reel-to-reel tapes, maybe even 8mm tapes, and the Legacy Box team will professionally digitize everything and put it up in the cloud or send you a thumb drive. Now, magnetic tape like VHS camcorder was only made to last 10 to 20 years. It does deteriorate very quickly, and that means you're losing those family memories over time. Now, Legacy Box saves and protects all of your family media, and they make sure that all those photos, all those videos are saved in perpetuity so they can be passed on for generations to come and easily shared. If you do it today, you get 40% off. It's their all-in-one digitizing kit. Take advantage of this exclusive offer right now. Use your Legacy Box whenever you're ready. Just go to legacybox.com/now. That's legacybox.com/now, N-O-W.
We have cloudy skies and a chilly start this morning, 39 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's Memorial Day sale. It starts now. My showrooms are full of amazing deals: sofas, recliners, bedroom sets, dining sets. Why wait for Memorial Day to save? You can shop the My Carl's Memorial Day sale now in the New Hartford Shopping Center and Destiny USA. The Utica School District vote results are in, and the district's budget passed by an overwhelming margin, 1749 to 876. 2 board members were also elected to the Board of Education. Current board president Joe Hobika won re-election, and Jason Cooper won a seat on the board. This will be his first time serving on the Utica School Board. Well, the results are in on another poll, and they're not great for Kathy Hochul. Many New Yorkers do not have a favorable opinion of the governor. According to a Siena College poll, 45% of those surveyed says they view her unfavorably, compared to 40% who do. Folks who were also split on whether she's effective and a strong leader. One bit of good news for the governor is that a strong majority of people surveyed believe that she is hardworking. A 14-year-old boy in the Syracuse area charged with a misdemeanor after being accused of threatening to shoot up a school. That threat was made on Snapchat toward the Roberts Pre-K through 8 school in Syracuse. Investigators say the boy did not make preparations to carry out the incident. No word yet on what type of punishment he could face from the district. After he was taken into custody, the child was released on a family court appearance ticket. Jury deliberations scheduled to resume today in the Schoharie limo crash trial. The 12-member panel got the case yesterday after both the prosecution and defense laid out their closing arguments. Prosecutors claim the limo's operator, Noman Hussein, did not do his part to make sure the vehicle was maintained before that 2018 tragic accident killed 20 people. But Hussein's lawyer says the employees of an auto shop that his client brought the vehicle to for repairs are to blame for that accident. Hussein is charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for us to stay dry today, but it'll be a bit cooler than it has been. Full details from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center today. Cold, patchy frost early, bright sunshine, breezy cool for May near 55. Tonight, widespread frost as winds ease, upper 20s to near 30. And tomorrow, cold, frosty start, then sunny, warming up fast, pleasant by afternoon near 65. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
We have partly cloudy skies, 39 degrees at 8:06.
All right, Devin. Devin has sports.
All right. The NBA Conference Finals tipped off Tuesday night. Nikola Jokic turned in a historic triple-double performance in a 132-126 win over the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Jokic totaled 34 points, 21 rebounds, and 14 assists as the Nuggets took a 1-0 series lead in Denver. Anthony Davis paced LA with 40 points, 10 boards in the loss. NBA playoff action continues on Wednesday night when Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics host Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals at TD Garden. The San Antonio Spurs are set to pick first in next month's NBA draft. San Antonio won Tuesday's draft lottery in Chicago, clearing way for the team to select prized French prospect Victor Wembanyama. The Charlotte Hornets are set to pick second, followed by the Portland Trail Blazers, Houston Rockets, and Detroit Pistons. This year's NBA draft is set for June 22nd in New York. The Yankees have won each of the first 2 games in their 4-game set against the Blue Jays. The Bronx Bombers cruised to a 6-3 victory at Rogers Center. Domingo Germán started the game but lasted just 3 scoreless innings before being ejected for sticky stuff. Ryan Weber earned his first win of the season after pitching 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief. Isaiah Kerner-Falafa and Aaron Judge each went deep in the victory for New York, which are now fourth in the LA East at 25-19. The Yankees continue their 4-game series tonight in Toronto. The Rays are starting their 3-game series against the Mets with an 8-5 victory in the opener at Citi Field. Justin Verlander suffered the loss after following 6 runs on 8 hits over 5 innings pitched. Brett Beatty, Pete Alonso, and Edward Escobar each hit a home run for the Mets, who are now 4th in the NL East at 20-23. New York will continue their 3-game set when Kodai Senga gets the start tonight.
All right, very good, man. Thank you. Did you have to do the Mets game? Did you have to do that?
Unfortunately, I did. We have to let the people know.
Okay, fair enough. Got to let them know. It's
Lakers
terrible,
game
Bob.
was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I know the Yankees.
The Lakers game.
Oh, the Lakers.
The Lakers game. They were up by.
They almost came back and tied it up.
No, they were up. They were down by 22, 23.
Yeah.
Good game.
Nobody gives the Lakers a chance in this series. I actually, not like I'm some NBA expert, but I actually like the Lakers and the Heat. They're the major underdogs in the series.
My son is in Denver, and he lives actually near the arena, so it's within walking distance. He's downtown, and so he's become a big Nuggets fan. They got season tickets, but bought playoff tickets, and I don't know if I should even be talking about this, but I will. He said, I said, "Are you going?" He said, "No, we're going to go to a bar to watch the game." I said, "Well, you have tickets. Why aren't you going?" So you're not going to believe what we were able to sell the tickets for.
I can imagine.
They more than doubled their money on tickets. So
smart.
That's pretty cool.
Very smart.
Now, apparently, he doesn't get that from me because I would have.
You would have gone to the game.
I would have started at the casino. Then we would have. By the end of the night, I'd have been figuring out. God, we have to pay rent. That was what I was like in the 20s, my 20s. He's much brighter than that, so luckily. The Move to Mazda sales event right now at Steep Pawnee Mazda is back, and 2.9% APR financing up to 36 months right now on new 2023 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. Enjoy 0% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-9s. As Rick says, come on in and check out the vehicles. And he'll make a deal on one of those Mazdas just for you. The Move to Mazda sales event is going on right now from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steep Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Coming up, we'll wrap things up with Bob Cardillo, who's running for mayor in Utica, 810 at WIBX.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. August 2nd at the Stanley Theater. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Get tickets at the Stanley Theater box office, Ticketmaster.com, or by calling 315-724-4000.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password.
For you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it's 8:13. Morning. We've argued this morning. We've celebrated. We've gloated this morning. We argued again, and I don't even know where we are right now. But Bob Cardillo is in studio, and we have not been arguing. However, there are people with some questions out there this morning for Bob. Bob is running for mayor of Utica on the Republican line. We've talked about a debate to do it in studio. We're working out the rules. And I think where we left off, though, was you were about to talk about what you would do to what? I forgot it was your question.
Homeless.
For how would you solve the this homeless issue that seemed to be something that was prevalent in Syracuse 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's happened, but all of a sudden, every street corner in Utica, it seems, any popular street corner, you've got somebody with a sign, and they're begging for money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's brand new here.
Well, part of it, I don't know that there's a complete answer to this until you really dig into it. But the mayor and commissioned Hamilton College, and they did this study, and it found that there's a 70% rise in homelessness here. That's pretty significant, and we know that there's a significant amount of this population that lives below the poverty level. So we really need to focus on how we can utilize our churches, our community organizations, and trying to make people whole when they come here. I know one of the big issues when I was doing some work for the Municipal Housing Authority is when the Obelston had the issues.
Yeah.
And these poor people are just literally out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now that building is turning around. It's going to be gorgeous. And I think a lot of, it's subsidized, so there'll be a lot of opportunity there. But
yeah.
We've really got to get a handle on it because it doesn't, with all the great things that we're doing downtown, it doesn't bode well when you see the things that you're saying, people on the street and, begging or whatever. So I think we've got to have a concerted effort for it. And I think we can do it through our churches, our community organizations. We need to have empathy, but we also need to be firm on what the result is for the community. So
okay.
Another city-related question, and this comes from Lance and Lee. He says, welcome back, Bob. With the cutbacks and reimbursements from Medicaid and Medicare, should the city do an independent audit on the ambulance service? And then his comment is, there's no doubt it costs taxpayers millions each year, and Kunkel did a fine job before.
Wow, that's...
Well, I would say that the fire department would disagree with that, saying that they make money off it. But there's really, the problem is it's very convoluted whenever you see the audit. It's hard to get a straight answer and to get a definitive answer.
Right, exactly. We went through this, was 11 years ago during that campaign, and there was a lot of questions about whether we should or shouldn't. I've talked to a lot of people in the fire department who think that and they are doing a good job. I mean, I have to say this a couple of times. My son had an episode at the house, and they came and they were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, they did a really, really good job. That now, I don't want to take anything away from private enterprise because I'm a capitalist, but I believe that they're doing a good job, And, you know, that's something we'd have to take up with the fire department themselves. So,
would you? His question was: should the city do an independent audit? Would you support an independent audit on the ambulance service?
I really can't answer that now because I don't know what the what the purpose of the independent audit's going to be. And like you said, there's, you know, numbers can be maneuvered, if you will.
I mean, it would be nice to get to the to be able to say to have an extensive audit done so that you can say, you know, here's what
unequivocally this is what it is.
Exactly it.
Right,
this is here's what this is what's brought in. This is what it costs. I mean, it would be nice to be able to present that and say, here's the proof, because we're told there's proof, but we do not see it.
Yeah.
So in that,
I wouldn't object to it at all.
Okay,
No,
so
I wouldn't object to it.
you would be
Yeah,
okay
I'd
to
be
an
okay
audit
with that.
based
Absolutely.
on that.
I have a question here, and it's regard to the fire department. I've asked before. If you're elected mayor, will you fix the roofs at the firehouses so that our first responders aren't breathing in whatever garbage is up in the ceiling up there?
You know, we've had a lot of COVID money, and I really think that some of that COVID money could have been diverted to doing things with some of these firehouses. I've had firemen talk about the kitchens that these guys live there. I mean, these men and women live there. So I think there needs to be more attention paid to that, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Anything you want to add, Bob? This is your closing.
There's one more question.
Oh.
It's a school board one, if I may ask. This comes from somebody who I believe ran for school board last year. He says, ask Mr. Cardillo, what was the total, if you know, total tally of absentee ballots that came in for the election last night? How does the school district send those out? How many do they send out on average, and how many do they usually receive? Now, we don't. That's not back yet, is it?
No, I don't.
Absentees?
They wouldn't be counted.
They count
as
the
of yet,
absentees.
and
they did count them.
Oh, they did count them?
I think, yeah, they count them right there.
Okay. Yeah, the school board.
And I don't know how many.
School handles it differently, and I believe the state ed elections versus
normal
the Board of Elections are different.
Are a little
I
different.
believe an absentee ballot has to be in before the end of before 9 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a school
Now, I don't know
board.
how many.
But it would
I do know
not
they're
be
counted that night.
I mean, both Hobika and Cooper are up by 1,200 votes or something like that. I mean, there would never be enough to change the results.
I don't know what his whether the answer was what he intended to do with the information. Like, what was the purpose for asking the question? But none of these are close enough that they could be overcome by absentees.
In closing, we've talked about a debate, and we're working on that with you and Mike Galimi. Here we are. Today is the 17th, 18th, 17th.
Yesterday.
17th. And by the way, June 17th is the start of early voting.
Right.
So we are just around the corner here.
And absentees have already gone out.
And they have already gone out. All right, what do you want to say to people?
All I'd like to say is that I'm actually having fun. We're campaigning. I'm going door to door. We're going to tons of events. I've got a terrific campaign team. We're talking about issues. As I said, since November, this is why I carry my book with me.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important that we know where everybody stands on the issues. So I thank the people that have been welcoming me into their homes. It's been a phenomenal experience. I'm enjoying it, and look forward to keep moving on and get to the finish line.
All right.
Thank you.
Can I squeeze in one more question?
Sure.
I have somebody asking. After that cough, maybe not. I'm kidding.
No.
Are you supported by the Constitutional Caucus? And if so, based on some of what came out of the school board election, some pretty vile things, do you have control of them? Do you have limits on them, on the things that they can do to your opponent or to others, starting with, are they backing you? Is the Constitutional Caucus backing you?
Well, I know members of the Constitutional Caucus, like I know other members of the Republican Party in the city. Some of those people on the Constitutional Caucus are committee people in the Republican Party who support me, and I appreciate their support. I believe that look. in order to win an election in the city of Utica as a Republican, you need to have as many Republicans as you possibly can have.
Right.
So I'm not going to turn people away. I don't subscribe to everything that they do. I'm an independent guy. Nobody's going to tell me how to do it or why I should do it. So I feel comfortable.
And
they don't run my campaign.
It would be, there's a month left. It'll be a clean campaign.
Oh, so far it has been.
Yeah, it has. So.
I mean, as you know, I'm talking about issues. I haven't been the one that's taken shots. I think you might say that my opponent is taking shots. But
if I have heard it once, I've heard it at least 3 or 4 times. I'll come on, but I want to talk about the issues. So fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
very much.
And we'll break. It's 8:23. A lot to talk about. Stuff going on here today. 8:23 WIBX.
The 2023 Gun and Sportsman Show with Craft and Flea Market on Friday, May 19th and Saturday, May 20th will be at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds in Frankfort. You can find all kinds of hunting and sportsman supplies, ammo, bows, fishing gear, tanned furs, antiques, wildlife, photographs, wood crafts, leather goods, gorgeous gifts, flea market treasures, food trucks, and more at the 2023 Gun and Sportsman Show with Craft and Flea Market. The 2023 Gun and Sportsman Show with Craft and Flea Market on Friday, May 19th and Saturday, May 20th at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds benefits conservation education and is sponsored by the NYS Trappers Association. Vendor booths are available for the event. To reserve yours, contact Bill Swagler at 607-222-8554 or at nystaconvention@gmail.com. Admission is only $10 per person. Kids 10 and under are free. On Saturday, military is free with ID.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply and the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Couple things I want to tell you. Portions of the program brought to you by Dr. Hyder at the Omni Surgery Center, located in the Utica Business Park. And the exact address is over on French Road, where their surgery center is. I call it the home of miracles. I'm just telling you. You walk in with excruciating pain, and there's nothing like, if you deal with it, you deal with that excruciating pain. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Manaski, you know what I'm talking about. You've had it.
Yeah.
And, people look at you like you look fine, everything's up, but you're in so much pain. Cully, you know what I'm talking about. And if you can go somewhere and make the pain go away, that is just the biggest thing in the world. It's nothing short of a miracle. We're talking about Dr. Hyder and the Omni Surgical Center. I witnessed it. My dad went in with just excruciating pain. It's the only thing that's been able to keep the pain away. Dr. Hyder and the Omni Surgery Center, where modern technology meets cutting-edge surgery. Now, it may come down to the point where you need surgery. You're getting a less invasive process. It's what they do. A faster recovery when it's less invasive. It's all done state of the art, right out of here, and people travel from all over the country and Canada to here to have the procedure done. Omni Surgery Center with Dr. Hyder. Call 315-765-8448. It's no wonder the website is killpain.com. And also, Daylight Donuts, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program. For me, it's, I don't know about you, but for me, Daylight Donuts is survival. You get to that point usually around 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and there's something about that espresso that just picks you back up and you're on your way. The drive-thru is fast, fresh donuts, fresh bagels every day. It's Daylight Donuts with Chuck Siddell and everybody over there, where court is held. All the important issues of the world are talked about with Chuck at the helm. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Anything else you want me to do?
Can I do a couple things?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm going to the bathroom.
I'm just going to quickly do a baseball mention here. This is from Joe Marino. He said, how is Bob Cardillo more important than the massive JV baseball game between New Hartford and Utica? So I want to give that a mention.
Listen, I'm just glad that he's talking baseball.
He's kidding.
I read his tweet. He had a tweet this morning, Joe Marino. And he's all into baseball. I have a few baseball stories, too, I'll get into that involve someone here.
So the New Hartford-Utica game, Joe's two sons are on the team.
Were you umping this game?
Yeah, Joe and Anthony, yeah. Yes,
wow.
It was my first, actually, New Hartford game and my first Utica game also. Utica was victorious. I believe the final was 10-5. But if I could, I just have to tell you that his son Anthony is a catcher, and I used to catch. His son Anthony made a phenomenal play in the game. It was a fly ball, a pop fly in foul territory, right over by the fence in the dugout. And it was one of those plays where if you weren't on it from the get-go, he was never going to make it there. As soon as the ball went up, he knew where it was. He basically sprinted to the dugout area and made a catch, kind of leaping on his side. He didn't dive, but kind of leaping and made the catch on his side. It was probably, I've done 15, 16 games now. It was probably one of the, if not the best play I've seen by an individual so far this year. So I want to give a little tip of the cap to his son, who is a catcher, which is probably, other than the pitcher, the most important position on the team.
By the way, his son is actually consulting later today at Citi Field, the Mets. They need a little help.
We could use him.
Yeah.
Send him up, Joe.
Hopefully, Joe, you could get your kid to teach him how to hit the ball.
Well, they know how to hit, and they know how to hit, too.
And even yesterday, think about it. Yesterday, the Mets had like 3 home runs. They scored 5 runs. They had 3 out of the park home runs. Well, there's only one kind. Still, the point that I'm making is we're all excited about Verlander's home debut. And he gives up 5 runs, ultimately 7 runs given up.
I think the only thing Joe would object to about that is that he'd say his son or sons are wearing the wrong New York baseball hat.
Yeah.
This is from Joe Hobika, of course, recently, last night, reelected to the Utica School Board. He's currently the school board president.
I'm sorry we gave away $100 of your money, Joe. I apologize. It was a tough question.
This was an answer to the question on the absentee ballots. He says 497 valid absentee ballots were received, and over 1,200 absentee ballots were sent out.
Rick says there's due day and time for absentee ballots. It's in the official notice that goes out, which usually must be in school district custody by close of business on the day of the vote. That'd be close of business yesterday, not 9 p.m. After the polls close, the absentee ballots are then counted and included in the totals. So there you have that.
And Lance and Lee, he had a question for Mr. Cardillo, a follow-up. I did not see it till after. According to the Sentinel, Oneida County wants to raise the sales tax to 9.75%. As a conservative, I would like to know his opinion. Obviously, Mr. Cardillo is gone, but we can discuss the 9.75%.
We'll get into that on the other side. I'm told the Pacente's office yesterday, we talked to them about that yesterday. The Sentinel story is incorrect.
What they're looking to do is keep the 8.75.
That is a procedural resubmission is what was done. They're resubmitting the 8.75, and it is not an attempt to raise the sales tax. But it has to be resubmitted. Quickly, each week we do a weekly segment, a legal segment. Ken Belkin is the attorney that pipes in here this morning, takes a look at some of the legal stories out there. Ken, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, listen, this is going to be fun. We're going to throw some doozies at you. Are you ready?
Throw some doozies at you. I'm not killing you for this.
All right. Daniel Penny is charged, released on bail, in that chokehold killing of Jordan Neely. This has been... I'm really torn on this whole thing, but I'd like your take. Ultimately, I want somebody to protect. If I'm riding the subway and somebody's attacking, I want there to be somebody there to protect. I would probably do the same thing. However, did the guy attack? Was he just yelling? That happens all the time in New York. And are we dealing with vigilantism that has to be held in check? There's a lot here. What is your take?
My take, it really comes down to whether or not he was acting in self-defense. I do think he was appropriately charged with manslaughter. There were a lot of politicians clamoring for him to be charged with murder. I think it's very irresponsible when politicians comment like that on criminal cases because, as I said, appropriately charged, but presumed innocent, all right? And that's a big part of it. And when we have politicians saying this man should be charged for murder and it's a modern-day lynching, that's irresponsible. But that being said, he was on the subway, he put a man into a chokehold, and that man died. He was the cause of that man's death, so far as we know, so manslaughter is an appropriate charge. Now, here's my big but again as I do another 180 backflip. If Daniel Penny, was acting in defense of himself or others from what he believed to be a threat of serious bodily injury or death, he is justified in employing force in self-defense.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think any of us should be surprised there's a manslaughter charge. Do you feel the because you got to let the court system handle this. You got to dig through the facts, and then we can conclude and form our conclusion. Do you think though the DA, I feel like pushed this, didn't let the process go forward. He prematurely put this charge forward because he was worried about protesters. I've heard that in the news. What's your take?
You're not going to find me defending District Attorney Alvin Bragg. I think he has taken this office in a dangerous direction. He is very big on weaponizing his office for political purposes if it looks to benefit him. If I had to guess, I think he's probably going to try and primary Senator Gillibrand, and that prosecuting Trump might be a big campaign win for him, but not necessarily pursuing justice as a district attorney is sworn to do. So you won't find me defending him. I've seen his office make moves based on political considerations, but always doing my backflip here.
Yeah.
They did wait. He was not charged immediately. There was some investigation. Know how much at this stage.
Okay.
But we will find out.
Yep, we're going to find out. Okay. Topic 2, after school, Satan Club must be allowed to meet at school, according to a federal judge. I remember my days in the Satan Club. It was a lot of fun. Not really. What is this? What's going on here?
I'm thinking of joining one myself. Are there any in Brooklyn? I don't know. I've just been Jewish for the past 44 years. So, look, at the end of the day, this club and these students have freedom of speech. Yep. This is a state action. This is a school. They are a government, party, essentially, and they cannot restrict their speech while allowing other viewpoints, such as a Christian students club, to also be allowed to express theirs. Freedom of speech exists exactly for that which we detest and disagree with.
Well, so
amen. 100%
I completely agree, but as you would say, can I throw a big but in there? Can the school district take action, for instance, if the Satan Club is discussing violence? They want to see kids beat up. They want something to happen at the school, whether they're advocating violence in the school or outside the school. Would that allow the district to take some kind of an action?
Yeah. Obviously, in certain conditions, the content of speech can be restricted. Threats of violence being one of the big ones, and in some cases, pornographic material as well. Okay. So there are going to have to be some standards that they're going to have to comport with, and they are going to have to abide by those restrictions.
I mean, because as they say, if you're not going to raise hell, what's the point of a Satan club anyway?
That's a very good point. Ken, the reality is free speech can be ugly. And it's the ugliness that we have to. It just can't be everything that one group believes in. It's all or nothing free speech for the most part, with some, obvious limitations.
Yeah, America is not a cult. It's a dysfunctional family, and that's the way it should be. That's
right.
the way our founders wanted it.
It is.
Really.
And then last topic, a federal court just stopped the Biden administration from releasing illegal immigrants into the U.S. without a court date. This whole southern border issue is just extremely difficult to watch. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, I mean, just as a New Yorker, I never thought I would even care about the southern border, but apparently it's overwhelming the infrastructure in New York City, and people better get pretty hip to the reality that you can't have 10,000 people a day coming into your country and then flooding your big city. They're not built to sustain that type of influx. But that being said, the case you referred to, they issued a temporary restraining order on a new Biden policy, a 2-week restraining order, that this policy was allowing people to come in without any identification number and without a court date that they would be required to appear at. And they put a restraining order on that policy so that people will still have to be identified by a number and required to have a court date.
Okay. By the way, what are you all waving for me? What's going on? What are you guys doing in there? Don't distract the host. What the hell are you doing? Okay, Ken, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have how's traffic, by the way? It sounds terrible.
It's right.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you for the time. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Ken Belkin. I want to say it's kind of like when you're at the airport, and we were in Orlando and we were coming home. Now all the way down, take off your shoes, take the iPad out. Laptop. What's the laptop doing in the bag? Don't do. Your shoes go here. Take off your belt. I mean, being yelled at by security getting there.
Yeah.
So we get there, and now enjoy the time. Everything's great. Now we're leaving Orlando, and it is jam-packed, overflowing. They can't handle it. And all of a sudden, the security guy's like, keep your shoes on, laptops in the bag, just keep going through. And they're plowing everybody through. It's like, I'm sitting there thinking, our plane is going to explode. We're going to be hijacked because they're letting everybody in. How could they do that? They're so tight on security, but now, hey, we're backed up. Now, that analogy may ring true for some people who've been to Orlando and back, and it does happen. But here's the analogy. That's what people on the southern border are thinking now, because we were anticipating a disaster. And I think what they have decided, and the Biden administration has decided, is let's just let them through. Because we can't, the backup, if we get backed up too much, the site's going to be bad. The pictures on TV will be horrible. We can't control it. So we're just going to let them funnel into the country. At what point does the plane explode? I mean, somebody coming through is a bad actor. You just know it.
You're not going to get any argument from me.
And
we disagreed on a few things this morning, but not that.
Not on that one. I think that is what.
And I'm all for immigration. It's how my grandparents' parents got here. I'm all for it. But they didn't just say, come on in, whatever you got with you.
Sometimes I feel like
tell
an
us
immigrant.
Your name or don't tell us your name.
I feel like an immigrant because I'm from Herkimer County. I'm here. I mean, you feel you're an outsider here. But I think we're just letting people in to avoid the ugly pictures on TV. So otherwise it would be a disaster. It'd be chaotic. But the problem is that chaos is bleeding into the cities around the country. And that's going to ultimately become a real serious problem.
And I just need a quick clarification. So if a Republican governor buses them someplace else, it's considered by many, on the left, I'll say, to be a racist act, and they're using them as a pawn, which that part I agree with. But they consider that to be an act of racism. If the Democratic Biden administration flies or buses them to another state, is that also racism, or is it only when a Republican does it?
I don't know what you're referring to, but I do know that I think using those people as political pawns, I think is terrible. Is it racist? I have no idea about that. All I know is we got to fix this, and there seems to be no fixing going on right now. So I don't know how you do it. At this point, it's so bad. How do you fix it? Listen, here's how you fix it. You go to It's a Utica Thing Kitchen and Bar, and you enjoy the food. There's a full bar. The food is delicious. It's incredible. And they're open today, 4 till 10, all week long, Tuesday through Friday, 4 till 10, Saturdays, 12 till 10, and Sundays, 1 till 8. For reservations, call 315-738-8946. It's a Utica Thing, Kitchen and Bar, and to give you an idea of some of the great foods. Of course, all the traditional Utica greens, chicken riggies, tomato pie, all of those great things. But on top of it, just incredible foods and specials, from filet to portobello sandwiches, incredible. Their pizzas, they're still doing great pizzas, seafood, steaks. It's a Utica Thing, Kitchen and Bar, now open on Leland Avenue in the Big Lots Plaza. It's 843 at WIBX.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, Memorial Day is the kickoff to summer. Backyard barbecues, that unofficial start to summer. And maybe also an unofficial start to those incredible remodeling projects you're thinking about around your home. New York Sash, they're celebrating by offering 20% off new windows, doors, and bathrooms, professionally installed, 5-star rated, and now 20% off. They're also giving away a new Weber grill. It's a $675 value. Stop by the Idea and Design Center to see all of their products on display. Check out the grill and throw your name in for a chance to win it. The winner will be chosen on the 27th, so you could be grilling in style by Memorial Day. Most importantly, please remember the true meaning of the holiday, to honor those who have served our country and those who have passed. New York Sash supports the military and veterans year-round by offering discounts, supporting veteran initiatives, and with their annual Shower for a Soldier bath makeover giveaway. But right now, they're kicking off summer with their Memorial Day celebration. New York Sash is closed Memorial Day, so their staff can attend parades and show their support for the military. But through the 27th, stop into the showroom, get 20% off your project, get a chance to win a grill, no purchase necessary, along with a free flag to wave at your parade. It's a Memorial Day celebration at New York Sash all week long at the Idea and Design Center, 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
Refresh and renew your home this spring with Little Falls Lumber. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors and 12-foot lengths. An affordable option for fixing utility sheds, roofs, or garages. Looking for lumber and tired of the warped pieces from the big box stores? Then go to Little Falls Lumber, where they stock only premium grade lumber. Stop in to one of their 3 convenient locations: Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady. Little Falls Lumber, helping you refresh and renew this spring. Call 315-823-2470 or visit littlefallslumber.com.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password.
For you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, coming up in a second, Ryan Nobles from NBC will speak. Actually, saw Ryan all over the TV yesterday. We'll talk to him coming up in a moment. Difficult topic here. There's an event that's coming up called Miles for Meg, and it is in memory of Megan Stewart. And the goal is to help individuals with bad thoughts, avoid suicide. Suicide prevention, and of course, support for families who deal with suicide. Tracy Stewart and Nicole Berry in studio right now. Guys, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So talk about, if you could, Megan, and the inspiration for all of this.
Yep. Roughly 14 months ago, my daughter Megan took her life. And it was totally sudden. It was unexpected. It was a parent's worst nightmare, you know. She was home at the time. I got the call from her girlfriend. They were having problems that Megan wasn't answering. And, you know, from there, my nightmare started.
God.
And while, you know, in that nightmare, planning a funeral, and Megan was an organ donor. And that's one thing, when you think people are organ donors, you think that automatically, like it's something kicks in for the donation. It doesn't. So I'm calling around, you know, making sure her wishes were executed. Where it's, you know, so there's a lot of things that happen, and you're in grief, you're feeling guilty, planning a funeral, and you're in a nightmare. So we tried out at Miles for Meg. We do help with awareness prevention. We want to help people when they're in that time coping with suicide loss. We also have monthly support group meetings to help people. I try to reach out when I hear of something like this happen. And eventually our ultimate goal is to get a home in the area where when it happens in the home, families can go to remove themselves from that atmosphere, plan their funeral, grieve the loss of their loved one, and then eventually re-enter their home.
I'm assuming these are all things that you went through that you're trying to prevent other people from going through.
Correct.
Yeah. Nicole, what do you want to add?
Well, I just want to add that we will be hosting our second Miles for Meg 5K run and walk. We've added a kids run this year. We've got a Chinese auction, and we're doing a cornhole tournament, trying to raise money for the home that Tracy spoke about, so we can help with the awareness and help build this house for the community.
Yeah. You would hope, Tracy, that it doesn't have to be used.
I hope it's vacant forever, but unfortunately I don't think
it doesn't work that way. How much do you fear that I can't imagine what you went through. I mean, we're both parents. I can't even imagine. But you're using the tragedy in your life, and I don't know how. I think as humans, this is what we have to do. You're using your tragedy to hope that you carry on your daughter's name by doing good for other people.
Yes. I mean, I just want, everybody listening to remember that you may be going through such a rough time, a breakup, financial difficulties, whatever you're going through, things will get better. It always will. You just have to choose to stay just a little longer.
Yeah.
Because the devastation that's left behind is just, it alters everybody's life.
Yeah.
The Miles for Meg event is coming up this Saturday?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How do people register, sign up, or can they just show up the day of the event?
Sure, both. They can go to our Facebook page or the Miles for Meg webpage to sign up. And they can also do it the day of. Or they can just come, join, and not do anything. They can just be there to enjoy the food trucks.
Yeah.
Anything.
You have a cornhole tournament going on as well.
That starts at 1 o'clock.
So there's a lot of fun stuff going on, and I wanted to mention as well, among the auction items you have, and I know because he's a big hit, right, Smitty? You have Chris Stapleton tickets, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
So that's among some of the things that you guys have a chance for people to win.
One more question for you, Tracy. Do you feel? Do you worry about the internet with young kids today? Does that play a role, or is it just you just gotta ask questions, and no matter how many times you ask questions, you still are. Chances are you're not going to know.
I wish I had the key to unlock this mystery. I mean, we had communication. My daughter Megan, she's one of. I have 3 other children. We're a close family. She never really went without. We talked about suicide. We've talked about bad feelings. We've talked about everything. And unfortunately, that night she didn't come wake me up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I will never know why. And that's some of the hardest parts. And that's another reason why we come public, because there's so many families that suffer from loss from suicide that felt ashamed, felt guilty. So they didn't talk about how their loved one passed away. And it's important to heal, and you can't heal unless you talk about it.
Yeah.
Just one more. The next support group meeting is happening May 24th, 6 o'clock at the Herkimer Ark. And again, is that a situation where you pre-register or you can
Nope,
show up?
just show up. And if you don't feel comfortable coming, we do offer a Zoom link that you can stay at home. No one is required to talk. You can just come and listen. And if you need babysitting services, we will also provide that as well.
That's great.
Well, good for you, what you're doing, and I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
All right, Tracy Stewart, Nicole Berry, thank you guys.
Take care.
All right, quick break. Ryan Knowles is next, 8:52.
Are you in the market for a vehicle? A vehicle that's like new but don't want to break the bank? Look no further than GM certified pre-owned vehicles at Steet Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. With rates as low as 1.9% on select models, you can find new roads without the high price tag. Check out the 2022 Silverado Crew Cab 4x4 with only 3,000 miles, or the 2022 Acadia AT4 all-wheel drive with rates as low as 2.49%. And with a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and an additional 1-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty, you can drive with confidence knowing your vehicle is covered. So why wait? Visit us online anytime at SteetPawneeChevy.com to browse our complete inventory and take advantage of these amazing deals. This inventory won't last long. Steet Pawnee Chevrolet on Route 28 in Herkimer. See why it's always easy to do business at Steet Pawnee Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it's 8:53. Ryan Knowles from NBC on the line now. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, Bill. Sorry I missed you last week. Sorry about that.
Yes, we waited. We just sat here like on a park bench, and we waited. No worries. And obviously, busy stuff going on around the world. First of all, the president making some changes in his worldwide schedule here. This is pretty big news, I think.
It was. In fact, one of the producers I was working with yesterday had a flight booked to Australia tomorrow to be with the president there and had to cancel our plans. And I do think it speaks to the gravity of this situation. That he is cutting basically his trip in half. Still going to go to the G7, still going to meet with those important world leaders, but then not take the extended trip out to Papua New Guinea and to Australia to meet with some key allies, especially in that region, which is pretty volatile right now. And it shows that they're really up against it here. They've got to come up with some sort of solution to raising the debt ceiling in a way that House Republicans feel comfortable doing so. They made a little bit of progress yesterday in that closed-door meeting. They now have kind of identified the individuals that will be doing the hard negotiating that happens behind closed doors, and they even met last night. So they're inching closer to a deal, but man, they are, as Congress often does, cutting it very close. And even if they are able to pull something out at the 11th hour, it could still have a negative impact on the markets and perhaps hurt the country's credit rating. So they're really messing with it this time, Bill.
Yeah. Democrats are pushing Biden to use the 14th Amendment. Talk about that.
Yeah, I still think that that's kind of a Hail Mary option that could lead to more problems for the White House down the road. It could lead to a court challenge, and then that could, still present all the same exact problems that they're dealing with now, because a lot of the handling of the debt ceiling is more kind of a psychological issue when it comes to the handling of the markets and how people feel about it. So if they were to invoke the 14th Amendment to raise the debt ceiling, and that leads to somewhat of a constitutional crisis where it's fought out in the courts, perhaps they are able to physically continue to pay the country's bills, but then there would be this era of doubt among investors and people along those lines.
Yeah.
So it could lead to bigger trouble down the road. So I don't think that the White House wants to use that option. They're strategically not taking it off the table because it serves as somewhat of a negotiating chip for them in this back and forth with the Republicans. But if we get to that point, Bill, we've got bigger problems, and I don't think it'll ever come to that.
Well, and I was somewhat confused, and I had to go in and just read up on the 14th Amendment. Because we know the 14th Amendment for persons born or naturalized in the United States, we're talking about enslaved people, but also the portion that would apply is the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment or of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion shall not be questioned. That's where this whole thing comes by. But you're right. You open up a can of worms here, I would assume.
Yeah. And what it does is, that those that would argue in favor of using it say that it gives kind of the president the ultimate authority to take out debt on behalf of the American people if he views it to be an emergency. Well, if you're getting to the point where, honestly, it's not really an emergency. It's just the fact that they can't come to an agreement. So it would be a risky proposition on many levels. And it's certainly not the option that the White House wants, but it's something they don't want to take off the table because they need every option that they have available to them as they continue to go back and forth.
If we don't meet our debts, who benefits? It seems like both sides lose, but both sides lose for caving as well, right? Caving in.
Absolutely. That's why I don't understand
It's
why
rough.
they keep doing that.
I know.
I've covered so many of these debt ceiling standoffs where, both sides think that they're going to pull some sort of incredible rabbit out of a hat and take the risk of this awful default and come out of it looking better. It never works that way. You end up with, a compromise that both sides end up losing in. And I think that's going to be the case here. There's no way Republicans are going to get everything they want in this package that they've already passed. The chance that they go back to 2022 spending levels across the board seems like a fantasy. And the White House is probably going to have to give on something like permitting reform or work requirements, things that the base of the party are really not in favor of. So, the debt ceiling, I think its construct makes sense. That you've got this kind of mechanism in place that's designed to have you evaluate your spending every so often, but it's never really worked like that in practice. And it's really just an ugly policy that, creates these artificial crises every so often. And for some reason, Congress and the White House just don't want to fix it.
Ryan, we'll do it again next week. Thanks. Have a wonderful week, and we thank you so much.
And thank you for not asking me about the Mets, because that's just not a good conversation right now.
Verlander and oh, boy. It's going to turn around, though. I have faith. All right. Thank you.
All right. See you.
I'm losing faith quickly, but I have faith. Andrew Dominio from River Hills Properties just reached out to Tracy Stewart. And if they're looking for a home, Andrew said that he will help them find a home. And then he would kick back any commission that he would kick it back as a donation. So basically, he wouldn't end up taking anything on it. That's awesome. River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company here in Central New York. If you're looking to sell a home or buy a home, reach out today. 315-896-1009. WIBX, Utica, Rome.
Are things better at the border? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden says yes, touting a big drop in illegal border crossings since Title 42 expired late last week after the record surge just before that policy ended. But Republicans disagree.
No, it's not getting better.
GOP Congressman Byron Donalds tells Fox more are just going to ports of entry.
What difference does it make if they're processed, at some dirt road area crossing the Rio Grande, or they go through an actual checkpoint of our border?
Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott is asking other states for help, and Florida GOP Governor Ron DeSantis is answering, sending more than 1,000 National Guard troops and law enforcement officers to Texas. The president's getting ready to take off for Japan this morning for a summit with other G7 world leaders, but he's going to cut that trip short, no longer going to Australia and Papua New Guinea as he keeps trying to work out a deal with Congress on raising the debt limit ahead of a potential U.S. default. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy just told Fox Business.
Finally, yesterday, the president finally admitted he would negotiate. He would assign 2 people from his administration to negotiate with us.
Republicans insist spending cuts be attached to increasing our borrowing. Another American who went to Ukraine to fight has been killed in combat with Russia.
The death of Nick Mamer was confirmed to his local newspaper back home, the Idaho Statesman.
The retired Army Staff Sergeant was in the eastern city of Bakhmut, for months the scene of intense warfare.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. A new abortion law is coming in North Carolina July 1st. After the state's Republican-led legislature overrode the Democratic governor's veto, it'll ban most abortions after 12 weeks in North Carolina and put new regulations on abortion medicine and abortion clinics.
The White House calling the bill dangerous and saying it would harm patients and threaten doctors for providing essential care, adding the Biden administration will continue working with leaders to fight for abortion access.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. America's listening to Fox News.
To all my friends, you're going to love Legacy Box. They make reclaiming your glory days as simple as 1, 2, 3. It's simple. You go around your house and you find every family photo, all your VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, reel-to-reel tapes, maybe even 8mm tapes, and the Legacy Box team will professionally digitize everything and put it up in the cloud or send you a thumb drive. Now, magnetic tape like VHS camcorder was only made to last 10 to 20 years. It does deteriorate very quickly, and that means you're losing those family memories over time. Now, Legacy Box saves and protects all of your family media, and they make sure that all those photos, all those videos are saved in perpetuity so they can be passed on for generations to come and easily shared. If you do it today, you get 40% off. It's their all-in-one digitizing kit. Take advantage of this exclusive offer right now. Use your Legacy Box whenever you're ready. Just go to Legacy Box.
Hi, I'm Pete from Big Apple Music, and whether it's your home or business, you have a lot invested. In the past, a camera surveillance system was an expensive luxury. Big Apple has now made it affordable. Big Apple is the area's leader when it comes to camera surveillance systems, having installed hundreds locally in homes and businesses. Big Apple is New York State licensed for security and camera surveillance, with most of our products sourced from American companies. Featuring Starlight Night Vision, our cameras dollar for dollar have the best night vision available. A camera surveillance system can offer full property coverage. It prevents and reduces crime, monitors high-risk areas like parking lots and showrooms, and Big Apple has a fully set-up showroom to give you real-time, realistic